Okay.
Also, share your screen again.
Oh, sure. Well, if everything is working and correct, we should be live with chapter.
You mean if everything is working, Miss and correct?
Well, hello? Miss Anne, did you agree to that? I don't know what's happening now. Well, Miss Anne, I wanted to start stream with a very important question.
Oh no.
Why are you very stupidity?
Because I apparently have a username that ships Borisara, therefore all my analysis regarding Sumire must be attacking the Borisumi fans.
The worst.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
A very such stupidity.
I kind of have to agree with that statement. Yeah, they said nothing wrong.
Yeah. Well, shout out Miss Anne's latest video where she got a comment saying like word for word exactly that.
That she is stupidity.
That she is stupidity. Yes. Well, no, it was even more ridiculous than that, because even the way you said it, Kamui, almost makes sense. This was just nonsense. But Miss Anne, if you want to take it away.
Was it so much nonsense?
Well, we can go check exactly. But go ahead, Miss Anne.
Oh, I was just gonna say I got called a stupidity.
A stupidity.
Oh, you were a single stupidity. Okay.
This is such a stupidity. Yeah. Okay. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh wait, can you put it on the thumbnail at that?
Yeah. Such a stupidity.
Oh,
this is such a stupidity. Okay.
There you go. I don't know whether that was supporting me or like
there's saying funny.
Well, it seems to be it's a comment thread. I mean, can you find the comments that this is replying? It's replying to you about something you said, I assume.
Yeah, it's replying to me about the recent chapter 33 analysis I had with the Sumire bit, where it was like, talking about the wording she used.
Oh yeah. So when you made a stupidity,
yeah, such a stupidity.
Yeah, such a stupidity.
What? Who wrote this? Boruto's dumbest fan?
I don't know, man.
Well, that would make sense considering they defend every panel of Sarada.
It wasn't a Sarada panel.
Well, getting away from that, but actually sticking on almost the exact same topic. So, Miss Anne, if you remember, we debated for 3 hours about Sarada last around this very same topic. So, okay, I thought of another example for Kamui when listening to this video earlier today, driving in the car. So, Kamui, this is where you're going to call me ridiculous, but I'm going to use this as the example anyways, because I think it works almost perfectly. So, Kamui, let's say you were... Okay, I didn't even think about this, but like my example uses a thing that actually happened to you, so just remove the real life trauma and pretend that didn't happen. So Kamui, let's pretend you were in a car crash, right? So we're pretending here, put it on our pretending caps here. So pretending. And
I can do that.
And
I've got the picture in my head already. I'm just kidding, it's fine.
And under this pretentious pretendiousness, so if I heard that Kamui was in a car crash, I would probably have like the exasperated gasp, like, oh my god, well, how's his physical condition? Is he okay? Like that. But
okay. I was curious what specific debate topic this was about. That's the one. Okay.
Yeah, the physical condition thing. So okay. But that sounds normal. That's fine. Everyone's along me on the same page, right? Okay. So now I'm gonna level it up a bit. This is the part where you're gonna call me crazy, but I think this is accurate. If I heard that, in addition to everything that I just said, that Kamui was in a car crash, and 5 of his closest loved ones were in the car with him at the same time. This just elevated the situation. Oh my god, is Kamui's physical condition, is he okay? That context changes everything, in my opinion.
Okay, okay, honestly, this is gonna be the weirdest response. I feel like
Perfect.
I'm in the middle now because I'm not fully. I don't fully agree, but I half agree because it does change it. I don't think it changes it like because part of the problem is you can't just remove the fact that I was injured in this case. So you can't remove that. But like I do agree that it does kind of change it because now when you're
Right?
asking it, I feel like I am thinking not just his physical condition, but I am also thinking about his emotional condition. But if you
Yeah.
reverse it though, or not reverse it, but change it to where I'm just fine. Like I came out fine. I wasn't even in the car. It just was my 5 closest friends who were in the car. Or somehow I escaped scot-free. I jumped out before, whatever it is. And then you asked me that, like, how's your well, the problem is then they're gonna be like, well, were you okay? But if I wasn't in the car, I was driving next to them, didn't get hit. They asked me that. How's your physical condition? Then it might seem weird. So like that's why I feel like I half agree.
Notice how also in your initial asking you added "Are you okay?" after. Just gotta say.
Okay. She's got a point. It probably does change it a little bit.
To be fair, from the jump, you were just correct, just verbatim. The actual chapter, that's how it is interpreted. With my wrong interpretation of the chapter, I still stand by it. With there no panels around and lacking all context, I think I was right.
Okay.
That's funny. Well, Miss Anne, would you say that especially the first part reminds you of this chapter?
Yeah, sure, I guess, actually. Kind of.
Okay, can you elaborate?
Anime Explained actually went into a whole thing about this, but like in terms of like Ada being based off of an idol and Bug being like or Mamushi being like a stalker, there's so many problems with that.
Oh, you know what? Okay, actually, I'm glad you bring up okay, so well, first of all, screw this for missing so many bug pun opportunities in plenty of these chapters. But ignoring that, I don't know if you've had this exact conversation, but I mean, you've made it abundantly clear that they're doing like insect style of bug puns constantly with Mamushi. Like they just Ikimoto can't stop doing the bug puns, right? So, on the other hand, we have Jonathan Oliver's out there, even simply Troy's out there, who are very adamant that Bug is a computer bug, right? It can't be an insect. It's a computer. So what are your thoughts? Was that initially, do you think, like, in the Japanese, was that very clearly indicated that it was a computer pun? If so, do you think it just changed? Was it never necessarily anything and people just assumed it would be a computer pun based on other, things? I'm not going to say it was an illogical assumption, but did people assume it? Or was that in the Japanese that it was a computer pun originally?
The kanji is the word bug, like as in like insect bug. And then
Wait, they used the kanji first name? That's interesting.
So what you're saying is everyone saying it was a computer bug is stupid.
Well, so hold on, because bug means like his normal name is like bug is software bug, but then mushi is insect bug. So regular bug would be software bug, and then mamushi would be insect based. So it could be both. But Japanese people love English. So it could just be that he wanted to put English for bug, like the insect, and wasn't thinking about the software aspect. But it's Ikemoto. It could have been both. He has a really good command of language usually.
Well, part of the thing is like in Ikimoto's interview explaining the Shinju's personalities and all these things, it's like the true form. I mean, it's like, what is he saying? Like computer bugs are actually insects? Like, what is he getting at?
I wouldn't go that far, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so to clarify, And ignore my writing since it's literally the thing I've literally like never do in Japanese. So it's doing the kanji for bug, which is something along the lines of it's something like so, I forget something. It's not like that, but it's what was it? It's something like so the line. It's something or the other.
Close
It's something.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
close.
Bug. It's bug. And then he would do. I also forget the katakana, but the goo is like this with the. And then I'm just gonna write the just ba. It's bagu. So is this what he's doing
Just
with
two
the
lines, bro.
yeah. That's
Well, I
bagu.
mean, it's just a photocopy of Ikiba's writing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I remember. It was one of these on the tail end. That's what it was that I was thinking. Okay. Anyways, it might actually be on the other end, but you know, that's not entirely. We're getting away from that.
Wait, is that how he writes his name?
I mean, I think it's clear based on Ada and Damon that Bug in code as well. Like Bug had to have been a computer pun at first, and he changed it to an insect pun, obviously.
Yeah, but the question is that because he just wants that? Like, is he deleting the bug pun lore behind like any inspiration and stuff? And it just is his name. That's all there is to it now. Or like, is that an intentional thing where they were gonna be two different puns, and then when Bug returns, it'll be all back to computers with him?
I don't know. I think. I think did he even have anything to do with computers in the first place, though?
Not directly, just had a name.
Do Code, Ada, or Damon have anything to do with the computers?
Yeah. Code.
Well,
I
no.
Code
I mean, in the story,
code.
do they have to do with computers?
No, but they
Exactly.
are like supposed to be new. Like, so I guess that makes that fits with that.
Yeah. If anything, Bug had the
fair,
most to do with computers.
Yeah. Amado, if anything, Sasuke. But Jonathan Oliver, make no mistake, he's making it clear to the world that like the programming language, it's all in the story. It's just very clearly, it's just everywhere in the narrative. That programming language, it's all over the place. Would you agree with that? It's like the entire story, basically. It is programming.
It's there, but it's not the entire story.
Well, if I put the word philosophy in front of it, does that make it the entire story?
No.
Well, sorry, Jonathan Oliver.
There was no human analysis involved.
Miss Anne, the Wiki. The Wiki.
Well, yeah, everyone knows the Wiki is never wrong. It's the most reliable source of all time.
Bro, the Naruto, I had to correct the Narupedia or whatever thing. It used the wrong spelling of Daemon in Japanese. I was like, how do you get this wrong, bro?
Well, I mean, I think you need to change your question. How did you get it wrong?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Because the Wiki is never wrong.
I can go pull up the manga right now if you want. Actually, no, I can't because there's a freaking cockroach upstairs and it's big.
Oh my god, it's Magu!
Oh, by the way,
you see Mamushi is in your room right now.
By the way, Kamui, I know it's
been like... to be looking at a certain magazine with Ino on it.
Kanji uses the same, for Mamushi. Yeah, well, Kamui, I know it's been like 5 minutes, but you can see the kanji for Mushi now. I was pretty close, right? Yeah, it was like dead on.
Yeah, you were, I mean, like, perfect.
Yeah.
Especially the other part that you added in the top right that's not there.
Okay.
This has been such a funny stream. Without saying like anything, it's just been funny.
We've hardly covered Boruto, but I'm okay with that.
I thought you guys finished covering the chapter.
Oh no, not even close. Should we go back to the Cho Cho rant from like 2 chapters ago?
We could.
Oh wait. Yeah, so I was saying that the cockroach in your place, it scales above Cho Cho.
And before Samurai Hands. Boruto receipt she forgot to give him for a sword order that said waited outside.
You guys should put that if you do an abridged, like have her give him a receipt that says that.
Yes.
This is owner on it.
Makes no sense.
Imagine he's paying for the future, dude.
I would love that.
And then she like scrawled her number on in the corner.
And every single part is in a different language.
Oh god, the most difficult, dangerous.
I mean, if anybody knows a ton of languages, it's probably someone from her department.
Literally. Oh, while we're at it, you already know, Kamui, the clip with Miss Anne with Sarada. I'm titling that clip, "We Were Right About Sarada."
Yeah. You should put on the thumbnail like Miss Anne's like profile picture. She
She's
agreed.
crying.
Put a check mark.
No. I'll use her thumbnail of the guy saying this is such a stupidity.
Oh, the satisfaction when she said it was bad.
So good. Okay. I'll move these later. Okay, you want me to do a specific topic?
Yeah, let's finish the Cho Cho topic. We're not rehashing the first part. We're just continuing where we left off.
Okay. You're gonna have to remind me where we left off as part of the problem.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell when I see it.
Okay. Let me move these over really
You're
quick.
doing such a way better job than I am at actually moving these things to use
Yeah, because you
topics.
don't do it.
At some
I
point, I'm just
know.
gonna need you to do it for me. I'm not gonna do it.
But that's again, I'm not gonna do it for you because then it's gonna be posted as if I'm the one who wrote the topic.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't
That's
want to
the
do it.
problem.
Otherwise, I would have already been doing it.
I need you to give you my Discord login info.
We're at the point that I'm not gonna do that. Okay. I'm just gonna trust that you said it all in one word and not two words.
I think I did it. But to be honest, I might change it, but I think I tend to do it in two. But you know what? No.
You're gonna have to find this for me, God. Wait, I think you didn't do.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely two. It's probably gonna be one of these.
Well, okay. Scrolling that fast is not gonna make it easy.
It's okay, but it's probably one of these because there's like 12 long messages in a row.
Yeah, I am okay. Let's just scroll up.
Oh, well, it's probably like it's not.
Okay. Well, it's not this one then for sure.
Not this one. Okay. So then.
Oh,
maybe this
actually, the one above it, I think is at the end of it. Oh, okay, it's one.
Two
Okay,
bugs to
there we
pick
go.
with
I've got
Cho
a put a pic with Cho Cho. That is definitely the star. Okay.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
Don't remember.
Keep going past this. We did do those. Keep going. Okay, so let me get to the actual point I wanted to make with this. So Cho Cho is more talented than Choji, right? You know, someone who's not particularly talented to begin with. And then keep going.
Oh, sorry.
We'll do the same alternating thing.
Okay.
Cho Cho's not Sasuke. She's not as talented as Sasuke at her age. Nothing suggests this whatsoever. Sasuke is one of the most talented ninja ever. Cho Cho doesn't have that talent. She also doesn't have Uchiha genetics. She also doesn't have a Sharingan. She's also not an Indra reincarnate. She also doesn't have Kakashi and Orochimaru as her sensei versus freaking Moegi.
Yeah.
She
I'll also
doesn't have a-
note again because we already mentioned it last time. Just to reiterate it, so she has Choji as her teacher, who had Choza as his teacher, who isn't teaching him anything different from what Choza's dad taught him. It's like the same thing. That's down.
And none of them are talented.
Yeah.
She also doesn't have a curse mark. She also doesn't have performance-enhancing drugs. She also doesn't work nearly as hard as Sasuke, who had relentless devotion to his one single goal of killing Itachi, and later destroying the Leaf Village, and later fighting the Otsutsuki, and so on. Versus Cho Cho eating potato chips and taiyaki.
And by the way, Ro, if you ever want to jump in at any point, feel free. If you ever got anything to say on any of this, because I'll warn you right now. I say that because it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Going.
And mind you, we skipped
It all
the
seems
first
pretty
half.
obvious. I don't
We
need to say
skipped
too
the
much for
first
now.
half of it.
Okay. And yeah, we did already say like a
Oh,
lot
shit,
of
this
it
is
in a
cool.
previous stream already, but you know. So you lost on context, but that's okay. For what reason am I granting Cho Cho as stronger than Tenchi Bridge Arc Sasuke? Sasuke has everything over Cho Cho. More talent, power, skill, better teachers, more motivation, better genes, more
Okay, 7 hacks, not facts.
more facts, more facts, everything. What's getting her over Tenchi Bridge Arc Sasuke? What AP does Cho Cho even have? She hardly makes dents in the ground versus Sasuke blowing up a hideout with a fireball while laying down and groggy from waking up. What piercing power does she have better than lightning-infused Kusanagi Blade or Chidori or any Chidori variant? What speed does she have over Body Flicker so fast nobody can even react to Sasuke? What hacks does Cho Cho have over Sasuke's various jutsu? Nothing. How does she get past Sasuke here? Now, let's talk about Sasuke variations. Yeah, I'll add, what was I about to say? I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? It was,
But I guess while you try to think of that, to clarify here, this isn't saying, well, Cho Cho, she bodies Mamushi, so she scales higher. This is saying how she's less talented, doesn't have all these various things that would make her strong, doesn't work as hard as this guy, doesn't have this, doesn't have this. Why is she that strong? That doesn't make sense.
yeah.
What's getting her to that level is what that's saying.
So you can say 3-year time skip training, blah, blah, blah. Everyone
And that
else
applies to
in
Sasuke.
Shippuden,
I chose Tenchi Bridge Arc Sasuke.
Exactly. That applies to everyone else in Shippuden. So, and we see how much stronger
And into Blue Vortex.
everyone gets. Exactly. We see how strong these characters are in Naruto Next Generation. The kids aren't on the level of the parents at any point in Naruto Next Generations, outside of the outliers of like maybe Borushiki and Kawaki with his Ishiki Karma Seal. But outside of those two exceptions, the
or
other
Mitsuki with Sage Mode, like
oh yeah, well the obvious, the Urashiki beater. But outside of those obvious contenders, the kids just aren't contending with the parents. And I'm even gonna throw in there Sarada. She doesn't compare to Sarada or to Sakura or Sasuke by the time skip. She's not on that level. Like maybe you could say with the Mangekyo, but we just don't know where that scales at the end of part 1. And she doesn't use it, so I'm not gonna.
well, she's
give her
asking
anything.
Sasuke to help and not doing it herself. So there's at least that.
Yeah, she's too busy being a worthless loser at the time. But yeah, it sounds like that. Yeah. So are we really? Yeah. So are we really gonna say a worthless loser is stronger than Sasuke? Is that what we're saying now? So, I don't think so. Keep in mind, like a couple weeks earlier, Sasuke saying that Sarada's like as skilled as he was when he was a kid. So I'm not gonna say that Sarada jumped 30 years in power over the course of a couple weeks. Sorry to say it. But yeah, that obviously applies to Cho Cho, who isn't even as strong as Sarada. So
Again, her best feat is using an ability she doesn't use in the manga. We don't know if she has it in the manga. And her best feat is being relative to 2 Tomoe Sharingan Sarada and losing in the end. So she's weaker than 3 Tomoe Sharingan Sarada, who has way more motivation and talent and everything else.
Exactly. Well, Rue, do you want to take this paragraph here?
Where is it?
I got it
I'm still
highlighted.
kind of waking up.
Okay, go ahead, Gabby. Never mind. Take your time.
She also doesn't have Orochimaru absorbed in white. Sorry, real quick about that said, let's use later Sasuke variants. So she also doesn't have Orochimaru absorbed in white snake powers. She also doesn't have a Mangekyo Sharingan. She also doesn't have an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. She also doesn't have a Rinnegan. She also doesn't have Hagaromo amps. She also doesn't have Hashirama cells. She's also not training to fight Otsutsuki. She's also 15, not 30.
She also isn't an Indra or Ashura reincarnate.
Exactly. Well, I technically said that one earlier, but yeah. A realized Indra
We don't
reincarnate.
know if she has a straight Tomoe, Choku, Tomoe, Sharingan, whatever.
Yeah, I should add that she doesn't have a Choku Tomoe Sharingan.
She doesn't have a curse mark. She doesn't have anyone to give her nature energy. Well, at least no one's done it yet. Unlike Juko or Sasuke.
She doesn't have Jugo.
Oh man, I do kind of get all that. Of course, she doesn't have anything, literally anything that even seems remotely interesting in the manga. But like, sometimes when you think about it, if you can just grow to like 50 meters tall, what's the point of even having any of this?
Well, when does she do that in the manga?
I'm glad you're saying that, Rue, because if
That
you
is
remember
true,
the
though.
very first
doesn't really do
conception
that.
of Boruto that we saw, she does this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he took, what's his name? Choji. Like the pills, the second pill, just to get to this point.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
part 1, Choji.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying, though. She also did this in part 1.
Yeah, again, this is
Well,
30
again, she's
minutes
more
into the very
talented than
first Boruto
Choji.
thing we ever see.
Yeah, so obviously after
Powering
a
over the
3-year time skip, she would be stronger.
Yeah, but keep
why
in
is she
mind,
stronger
Ryu,
than Sasuke?
it's weird. She has this. Keep in mind, Cho Cho can do this throughout all of Boruto and 2 Blue Vortex. And she never does it again. Think about
Based
Oh,
on
every
Choji's
time.
kill
Yeah,
amps,
this
this is
very
like
slow.
the second best thing you can do. And well, actually, just using Choza, this is what Choza does. He doesn't have butterfly mode, seemingly at least. Never used it.
Yeah,
Choji does
true.
butterfly mode. That's the better than Choza thing. So this is like the second best Akimichi Clan Jutsu. She's already got us again, and she just doesn't use it ever again in favor of just fighting regular and base.
Yeah.
You know, out of curiosity, is this in the manga? Let's
Please go
look.
check.
No, it's not. We don't
It's
ever
not.
see her do something like this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so Ikimoto retcon that too.
That's hilarious. JoJo's
It's like,
here.
I mean, the thing is, obviously scaling her to Sasuke does seem a little difficult to do just because, I mean, obviously what we see now, we'll never see her fight a Sasuke like that. But even comparing her to like the battles in Mamushi, I do think she's kind of stronger than a younger Sasuke. But the reason why everybody kind of doubts her power is obviously because she's fighting something that we consider to be like Jigen level. I don't really think that's the case though.
But we'll get into that separately because I'm glad you agree.
Yeah.
The manga, I found it.
That being said, I just thought
Alright.
of the most OP thing that like any Akimichi who can do this, they just have the most OP ability in the verse and they've literally never used it. Super expansion jutsu, human boulder.
Human boulder. Yep. Why not?
Cho Cho literally can just rival the Three Tails if she does that. That's what the Three Tails
You can
does.
just destroy the whole village easily.
In like 10 seconds, she just flattens it. Bro, she can destroy it faster than Pain.
Oh my god, what was she thinking?
Yeah. But obviously, Choji was like freaking the most strongest character in the Sasuke retrieval arc, and that's at the end of part 1. To be fair, that's with the red pill. But like even with the yellow pill, he's the freaking strongest. But
Well, okay, physically the strongest, but like not actually, because again, like Jirobo with his second state of the curse mark, which is better than that. So
you're not wrong, but at the same time, Jirobo's also the strongest. Like Loki, if he landed on curse mark stage 2 of anyone else, he might just win.
well, okay, I'm glad you're talking about that because like let's actually quickly just go through the hypothetical. What happens if it lands on Tayuya's Doki? Do they tank that, or are they just like dead?
It's a good
Start with her.
question. Well,
Because
they have.
she has that would be her only tool against that. In her
Yeah,
case.
I think the Dokis were strong enough. Correct me if I'm wrong. They were strong enough to like with their clubs. They're like smashing the tree branches pretty
I do
easily.
feel like she's not. Tanking that shit.
Yeah, and there's also 3 of them too, so they can each hold. Like Jirobo's one-handed that. They can each two-hand it if they need to. Tayuri can help too if she wants.
Sure. So
Yeah.
okay,
Plus-
probably
And
would
then for
work.
Sakon
Even-
and Ukon, they have 2 options. One is Rashomon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
You
gonna
just
tip
merge with
over. The other
That's
option
hilarious.
is, can they just like split their body in half, regenerate like they do with the Wolfang over Fang? They
Oh,
just-
even if they
just-
could, there's so much surface area, they'll still be trapped under
Yeah,
Choji regardless.
yeah.
Plus,
So,
they could also just
Well-
merge with her and then cook her from the inside. So
oh yeah, actually, yeah, they could just
Oh
let
my
them land on it
God.
and merge.
Okay.
They could also,
okay.
I mean, realistically, they're just fast enough to dodge that, probably. But
most likely, yeah.
I don't know.
Kinomaru's is funny. He just shoots a web and Choji gets stuck in the air.
I don't know if he can
Bro,
make a
see,
web
actually,
that big. Plus, I
Hidomaki
mean,
would probably be like the best and like opponent for her because like he would just like that's just more range for him to stab her more with his arrows.
I mean,
He could also do like his like Hisoka bungee gum style thing where he just uses the webs to fling himself out of the way.
I don't know if he'd be
Yeah.
quick
Feel like
enough
he'd
to
be-
do that though.
I think he is, considering the other shit that he dodges that way. And Choji falling over is probably not faster than like Kiba Fang over Fang or Neji coming up from behind or Naruto, whatever. Like, I don't think it's faster.
Yeah, I
than
mean,
that.
when
It's
Neji's
just-
coming up
it's
from
not
behind,
faster.
he's in Curse Mark 2 doing the swing in his web thing. He's not going that fast, in my opinion.
Okay, but also when Neji's coming up from behind off guard, just base Kidomaru while goofing off with the rest of the team is just dodging out of the way.
God.
Let me check this out.
To be fair though, when Kidomaru got hit at the end of the fight, he already got hit by a gentle fist thing. It was already damaged. So even if we don't
Yeah.
like that moment the best, I think it could have been done better. We've already rewritten it. It's still understandable based on being hit by the gentle fist already.
Yeah. And Kimimaru's obvious bracken dance, he just solos. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was just soloing all the tail beat. We've already
Obviously,
done that,
yeah.
so
I I don't think Kitamaru, first of all, I don't think Kitamaru has the speed. We'll just disagree on that. The arrows, I don't think they're I mean, even if they pierce Choji, I don't think that's a problem to say they would pierce Choji. If Choji's as big as he is, the arrows are so small, I don't think they're gonna be able to damage Choji enough to kill him.
Well, I know, but
Maybe
if he
hits
does
him in a-
if he does the curse mark
Vital.
2 one, I'm sorry, that thing's busting down the whole forest. I think that one's going through big Choji.
I mean, it's like it's making a hole big enough to where it almost covers the surface area of a tree trunk. But like if Choji's as big as he is, that's like making a really small hole if he hits him in a vital. Like I don't know if that would kill someone.
yeah,
probably,
okay,
but-
that aspect, I don't really know how that interacts with the expansion jutsu people, but like it's going through them at the very least. I don't know like how much it's going to matter.
But I don't know how
'cause of
that
the
works.
size.
Seemingly, I mean, that's another topic for another day. But like hypothetically, I guess the comparison would be like if you had like I guess a good comparison, ironically, would be like if you had a spider thread sized needle stabbed through your heart, would you die? I don't think so, but you might. But I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I agree. I don't think so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What's gonna wear in the heart? I don't know.
Yeah, and likewise for the webs. First of all, let's just say that Kitamaru does kill Choji with the arrows. He's not gonna stop Choji. Choji's still falling down on him. It's not gonna.
Well, he'd have to use.
Push
Well,
him
it
up.
depends because if he just wraps him in a web and Choji just gets like stuck, it depends on whether he falls after. It depends on how that constructs.
But that
him
doesn't
in
make sense
weird
to me
ways.
because clearly Choji's heavier in that form. So if he's just gonna break through the web.
Well,
first of
not
all.
even 2 elephants can do anything
Oh,
about the
Kamui, God.
webs. So now we gotta scale what Choji weighs, and we can't.
I also don't think that he would be able to make a web that big quick enough. But also at the same time, if Choji's falling down onto him, how's he gonna do it? He's gonna shoot the web up, but then is the web gonna stick to something other than Choji? Because it would have to, because otherwise a web's just gonna be on Choji, and then Choji's gonna keep falling down.
To be
onto
fair
him.
though, he might be able to do his like thing where he like shoots a web that's connected to him and he swings you around. Like he might be able to do that. It just depends on how strong those webs actually are.
See, I
what
think
their
his
upper
best
limits are.
bet would be summoning his spider, but I don't think the spider's strong enough. I think it would just get squished.
I mean, we just don't have any way to say. for
You're
that
not
one,
wrong,
but
but at the same time, it's a spider. So-
But I mean, I think realistically, he's just gonna like be able to get out of the way. I don't think Choji falling what looked. I mean, it's hard because gravity wise, because he's so big, he should fall down really fast. But it just wasn't presented as if it was the fastest thing of all time. You know?
Of the four, I mean, it's not presented as fast, but it's not presented like it's slow either. It's whatever. I don't think Jirobo could move out of the way, but I don't think he was trying to. I think he was trying to like flex his strength.
Exactly.
Kitamaru, I think, stands the least chance personally. I mean, you guys might disagree. And if you had to rank the order, then someone goes at the bottom. Who would you put if not Kitamaru? Ironically, you did convince me, Sakon and Ukon, they're going to merge with Choji. They stand the best chance, regardless of the Rashomon
I
gate.
agree, because they have the best chance because they have 3 options, essentially. They have Rashomon, physical defense. They have their split in half regeneration that might help. And then they have to just merge with them method 2.
Yeah. Tayuya I'm going to put in second to last because even if the Dokis have the physical strength to hold Choji up, at least for long enough, typically the way Tayuya fights, unless she knows it's coming, the way Tayuya fights with her Dokis, the Dokis aren't in her immediate proximity.
Yeah.
So, unless...
But she can call
again,
them to her.
Unless she knows
fast
it's
they are
coming.
by comparison. It's another speed question.
Yeah, and I just don't see them.
Well, actually,
also
the other question is the chakra ghosts that eat physical energy thing could be very bad for Choji, especially considering how big he is here.
It depends how quick they eat.
Yeah.
But also, with the physical energy eating, would that shrink Choji, or would that just make him tired in his big form? In which case, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Just bring down Master at that point.
Yeah. I think Sakura Uka number 1, Jirobo number 2. For me, it's kind of a toss-up with Kino because I feel like Kinamaru should just be able to dodge, but I think him and Tayuya have more of a question mark around them.
Yeah. Ironically, for Sakon and Ukon, with the summoning Rashomon, ignoring their other way out of that, seemingly the Rashomon, it doesn't just poof there, it like rises out of the ground. I don't think Choji has the strength to destroy the Rashomon gate, obviously, if frickin' Kiba is barely denting it. But if it's rising out of the ground, if he can get to it before it's done rising, he might have the strength to like push it back into the ground.
I don't think it doesn't need to be before it's done rising. It just needs to be taller than Sakon and Ukon by that point. And it's just gonna like if Choji falls onto that, that's almost like he's gonna get stabbed by not like a super sharp point, but it's like a go fall over a rectangular door frame like that. That's gonna hurt your stomach. Like that's just what Choji's gonna be. As you go, ow, this is gonna be the worst one for him.
Realistically, it depends however Kishimoto wants to write it, because it could go either way. But what I'm saying is, as it's rising, before it's done rising, as the like summoning portal rift gate thing is below it, allowing it to teleport up into the real world, it's possible that Choji might be able to push it back down to where it never summons, technically, quote unquote, fully in the first place.
Well, okay, but then it depends on the rising force of the Rashomon gates, how strong that is. Because if the rising force is strong enough, it might just lift Choji back up.
No, I agree. So that's where I think it's like ironically, like a tug of war, but like the opposite of that, to where it's like a pushing game. I think that Choji would need to like... Because that's how I think Kishimoto would write it if he had these two fight. To where it is like pushing Choji up, but then Choji like screams and like pushes extra hard, and it like barely pushes it down hard enough.
Yeah.
So I think Kishimoto would
just for a second, you're gonna merge with him and kill him.
Exactly. That's how they would write it from there. I agree.
That's funny.
We did not need to do this topic.
Yeah, just getting yeah, so real quick, you might as well go in the regular chat. Cho Cho does do this in the manga.
She does do it.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, Rue, looks like you were wrong on this one. Ooh. Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, very clearly, very big.
So Ikimoto drew this. He knows this happened.
Yeah. But he didn't write this scene.
So
he doesn't care.
So when there's 1,000 Mamushis herded together, and Cho Cho doesn't do this, let's just remember.
She should only be able to make herself bigger than now, by the way. Not just because she's stronger, but her starting point is bigger. So when she super expands, it should just scale upwards.
Like, let's just ignore
She
any.
did do it in a manga.
Exactly, yeah. Let's ignore any possibility of Mamushi having the strength to lift up Choji, especially if there's 1,000, or sorry, Cho Cho, if there's 1,000 of them. Let's just ignore that. Mamushi's too dumb to look up. He doesn't realize that Cho Cho's falling on him. If Cho Cho expands, she might just be able to crush all 1,000 Mamushis at the same time.
Or at least most of them. Or all the 50 instead of Sarada blowing up her eyes.
Literally.
That's all they have to do.
So easy.
It was nasty.
Oh, well.
But again, so back to the original topic.
Yeah.
So again, we're obviously not done it yet either. But the point here isn't to say that her feats don't, because I get into the stronger than Jigen stuff, but in a minute. But again, regardless of the exact location of the feats, again, I'm not saying the feats don't get her to tactically be somewhere. It's just to say, why would she be there? Because saying we've already been over the next generation surpassed the last point, but that doesn't apply to every single character in the next generation versus every single character in the previous generation, let alone a 15-year-old surpassing the 30-year-old of that generation. It doesn't apply that way, plain and simple. So why would Cho Cho be better than Sasuke at her age?
It also,
what does she
I'll
have
also
over
add,
Sasuke? You have to go through the list.
I could be wrong on this, but narratively, the way Kakashi's explaining it to Kakuzu, who's so ultra old and only alive because of his immortality, and that being linked to this, it feels like Kakashi's only saying this because Kakuzu is beyond where his generation should be. He should already be gone. It's similar to what Naruto tells Madara, to where zombies of the old generation should just butt out and let the new generation do things.
Well, that's what Sasuke says, but
well, it's Naruto says the zombie thing when he does
but the rest of that
reflection.
line is Sasuke. But actually, it was Sasuke who stole Madara's line.
Annoying nonsense of that.
We should
I think it's similar to that.
Have Miss Ann translate that when we haven't already.
Yeah.
I'll write that down right now for a future time.
I exist now. I finished eating my sandwich, by the way, if you need me for something.
Well, I'm glad you exist, as opposed to earlier when you didn't exist at that moment in time.
I disappeared from this dimension.
Yeah. Well, Miss Ann, this isn't a translation thing, but just to get your take on this. Every generation surpasses the last. When Kakashi tells the thing to Kakuzu after Naruto beats him, in my opinion, he's saying that the reason he's saying that is because Kakuzu is so old. Kakuzu's already past the time when his generation was supposed to be around in the first place. That's the reason Kakashi even says the line to begin with.
I'm still confused. I'm sorry.
So you know when
Naruto
Naruto
literally find the line in the manga at least right now. Obviously, the anime might slightly reword it, but this is quicker for me to find. So
you know when Naruto does the Rasen Shuriken against Kakuzu?
Can you remind me who Kakuzu is again?
Okay.
Is he part of the...
Oh my god, the Akatsuki guy with all the threads and 5 hearts.
Ah, okay. Okay, got you. Thank you.
Maybe Miss Ann wasn't the person to ask for this. But yeah, that guy.
Okay, so real quick,
so
he says, I'll just read his manga dialogue here.
Feel free
you
to
find the
post
first
it in chat.
Hokage. Huh?
Feel free to post it in chat.
Oh, well, I have to take. See the problem. Okay, whatever. 1 second.
Okay, it's really annoying to you apparently, but I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna zoom way out. It doesn't like on this website, which is better for every other reason except for this. It doesn't let you just do the copy the image page thing. You have to do a screenshot. It's just slightly more annoying when you have a big page.
It's just so nice, not just for me personally, so I can see it, but also for visuals of stream. It's just so much better. But okay.
All right, I'm gonna go switch my headphones while you start reading it.
Okay, I guess I'm reading it now instead of Kamui, but he did his work already. So, Well, you did fight the first Hokage. I guess I can't blame you for seeing us as kids. But it goes two ways. To our eyes, you're just an old geezer gone wrong. Yes, that's basically the same thing Naruto's saying to Madara. And here you are dying, hugging the earth like a worm. That's clearly not relevant. One by one, the new generation will catch up to you, and they will all surpass you in the end. So I feel like this line is in reference to, and in a way, almost like the theme of like the immortality part of the arc. Because Kakuzu's struggling to stay alive. He wants to be immortal, kind of like Orochimaru, kind of like Hidan. The idea is he doesn't want to die, but like the generation is like the thing. He's trying to stay relevant despite being a relic of the past, as Sasuke and Naruto would explain.
I think this goes back to the whole theme of like the younger generation, or the student surpassing the master kind of thing. The younger generation surpassing the older generation, like, you know, kind of leaving behind their legacy for the younger generation to embellish on and like improve on, I guess, in that sense.
Yes.
And that's like a huge idea in Japanese culture as well, especially with like when somebody is immortal, usually either they're portrayed as super wise and like all-knowing, or like behind the times and thinking that they're still with the times and they're not, and they end up getting killed by someone who is like younger.
Yeah.
Like in this instance. So I think that all ties together in that way, I guess.
So what you started with, the student surpassing the master, that's like the general sentiment echoed by Kakashi here, and it's echoed throughout multiple parts of Naruto. This isn't the only time.
Yeah, he says it literally before this scene that Naruto surpassed me. Like,
yeah, it's throughout all of Naruto. It's not even just this arc. But I'd argue this is probably one of the most iconic uses of this line. At the very least, this is what everyone points to, especially the power scalers who use this in power scaling, because it's a power scaling line. It has nothing to do with the story, apparently. But I think whereas this is what Kakashi's saying, and I do think the meaning is true with how he's saying it here, with what you're saying, the student what student surpasses the teacher, all that's true. I think the only reason he is saying it to Kakuzu in particular is because of this stuff up here. That it goes two ways. You're really old past your time. Rather than you're my age bracket. And there's a new generation now. This is also in reference like Mirai, obviously, but that'd be a different generation. You know, this isn't saying, oh, Konohamaru is a couple years younger than Naruto. He's gonna surpass Naruto. I think it is like generations as a whole in their totality, like looking long term rather than short term, like really long term.
Yeah.
I think that's really what's going on here. But
yeah, at least like a parent to child age gap.
At the very least. Even then, could be like even further based on what Kakashi's explaining here to Kakuzu. Not saying it is, but in this particular instance, it's why he's saying it. But away from that.
But again, like with the students surpassing the masters thing, it doesn't mean that. So okay, for example, Sakura surpasses her master Tsunade. It doesn't mean that Ino by default is gonna surpass Tsunade just because Sakura will. Not what that means.
And keeping in mind that Tsunade
I think that's
is 2
pretty
generations
obvious.
removed as well.
What Ino got.
Well, Ino's one of my examples. We already saw it. You're making me feel like we have to repeat the earlier part because you guys weren't there.
Because I feel like 2 generations removed in a way, like at the very least in Naruto, 2 generations removed, alright, that's the time where you're not supposed to impact society anymore. It's only the current generation and the one previous generation. Beyond that, you just don't do anything. I feel like that's what Naruto wants it to be. I mean, anyone beyond that age group that does do anything is seen as bad. Look at Danzo and the Elders.
Yeah, they do the same thing with Madara. They talk about at the very end when Madara's about to die, talking to Hashirama. It's like, yeah, Madara is the old generation still trying to do everything, and they're saying, oh yeah, give it to the new generation. Like,
ignore that he's saying that to like 30-year-old Madara there, by the way.
Yeah, well, to be fair, well, he is 30-year-old Madara. He's from like 100 years ago.
I know that's obviously, but yeah.
But that is funny. It's a 30-year-old Hashirama saying it too.
Yeah, I know.
That's way too old. But clearly you guys agree. It doesn't apply to everyone. So with that in mind, if you're gonna get Cho Cho to stronger than Tenchi Bridgeark Sasuke or any of these other Sasukes, the conservative ones, Tenchi Bridgeark, you guys say, okay, well, why would she be stronger? How did she get there? Does she have better talent, skill, speed, strength, power, a better teacher, and so on? Well, the answer is no to everything.
Well, but let's even say Sage of Thick Calves says, yeah, she does have higher AP and speed, but why would she have that?
Yeah, from what specifically? Because again, it's not a matter of, oh, the expansion jutsu just has more AP than these things in Sasuke's toolkit. Because we see them. We see, like, again, Sasuke blew up the whole hideout just because he freaking flicked his finger, did a fireball jutsu out of annoyance while he just woke up and was groggy. Like, that was not his max AP jutsu I need. He blowing up the hideout. What is, like, any Akimichi clan ever done that? Like...
Yeah, it's also,
I know that's technically not AP, it's DC, whatever. You get the idea.
It's clearly not every generation is an exponential boost on top of that. You know, every generation gets like maybe 5% stronger than last. Or, you know, like all the generations are kind of relative. The Akamichi clan members from like 10 generations ago are still doing the super expansion jutsu and like fighting tail.
Well, exactly. You know what's proof of that? The fact that Edo Tensei's a problem in the war arc. Wouldn't be much of a problem to bring back these 3 generations old characters, you know, if they're just way weaker. No, why is Mu, the previous generation, a threat to Onuki, the next generation? Why is freaking Gengetsu, beating the whole alliance while giving them the answers? Yeah, he's from the old generation. What's going on here?
Yeah, keep in mind, Onuki's like 80 years old, and he's like top 10 strongest alliance members.
Exactly. Bruh. Why was Hiruzen on top of the world when he was Hokage? He's the freaking such an old generation.
Strongest of the 5 Kage.
Despite being the old, well, I guess Onoki as well, but still. Yeah, why are the 2 oldest Kage? Frankly, even in the war, Tsunade's the second oldest one there. Tsunade and Onoki are, everyone argues, but like they are the 2. The ones that Madara is throwing a fit over. He doesn't care about the younger people there. It's those 2.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tsunade's Be Young jutsu, that's just Be Young? She's not, like physically, she's still, like, 60 years old, and, like, she has her 60-year-old body.
Look young. It's not Be Young, it's
that's what I meant.
Young. It's the freaking transformation jutsu, essentially.
Yeah, that's what I said without saying. Yeah, but, like, she looks like she's 30, but, like, she's still fighting as a 60-year-old. She doesn't have her 30-year-old body.
Just like Jiraiya is.
Exactly.
Look at it.
Yeah. And even then, Jiraiya's not fighting. He's having all his toads fight for him. I'm never going to let that go.
Yeah, well, actually, though, but that's a good point, though. So a 60-year-old Tsunade is just doing those crazy punches and kicks and stuff.
Actually just by herself. Yeah, exactly. She's moving her body. But anyways.
But yeah, so, yeah, you never actually read this.
Butterfly mode is very strong. Don't get me wrong. And super expansion jutsu combined with butterfly. Well, but again, she's not using butterfly mode.
Yeah, I know.
Like Choji in the war arc is even stronger than that, and it's super strong. But even that, which Cho Cho has never done, even in the anime, by the way, and she's never done either jutsu on its own in the manga. Well, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So we can correct. She has some super expansion jutsu in the manga. We did find that later on.
But that only makes this worse, if anything, because she never does it again.
Exactly. Doesn't do them in 2B Vortex.
Is still inferior to even the armored Susanoo, let alone a
Yeah,
perfect
let's just
Susanoo.
stop there. Do you
Everything
agree with
Sasuke
that?
has
Because I
going
feel like
for
that,
it.
like, I didn't use any specific feats to think that. Just common sense. Like to just Sasuke when he gets the armored Susanoo, at the end of 5 Kage Summit, when he's like supposed to be relative to Pain Arc Naruto, who's stronger than everyone in the village, which includes Cho-san Choji, by the way. So like, yeah, like that Susanoo, or EMS Sasuke when he first awakens and kills Zetsu. He's fighting Kabuto alongside Itachi. Like that Susanoo versus Choji in the war arc. Who you got?
Oh, I mean, I feel like if Choji tried punching it, it would hurt his fist. I could be wrong.
Yeah, so, does anyone disagree? I mean, just the armored Susanoo versus Butterfly Mode Super Expansion Jutsu Choji.
To be fair, Tsunade is cracking it, and Raikage when he's
she's
like
not
waiting.
fighting this Susanoo type. Madara doesn't use this Susanoo type like ever.
Yeah. That's fair.
Bro, it'll be almost exactly like how Naruto, like in the last battle with Sasuke, was fighting like the perfect Susanoo with Oodie Biju. His hand would probably just come up from punching it.
Yeah. I mean, keeping in mind, even Danzo, with all of his power and sharpness, keeping that in mind, he couldn't pierce through Sasuke's, like, base level Susanoo. Like, even the Raikage was having struggle getting through, like, the ribcage.
Exactly. Like, it's supposed to be really... And again, Tsunade, I don't see any evidence that for why Cho Cho should be signing level yet. The series doesn't give me that. But, by the way... The signing would be stronger than Tenchi Bridge Arc Sasuke. So, like, we've actually raised the bar by saying stronger than Tsunade. And she's, like, cracking rib cages and all that stuff willy-nilly. But, like, she's not fighting the armored Susanoo.
It's also hilarious and crazy how the Raikage goes from struggling against Sasuke's, like, 2% Susanoo to fighting Madara. 3 days later, if you ask me.
Okay, that is actually a really funny point.
Granted, after losing his arm, by the way.
Well, I mean,
that's
mostly because like Raikage was fighting against him with the Amaterasu all over. So.
Yeah, he also had
and obviously against Madara, he's got Onoki lightning him and heavying him. I said that the weirdest way possible.
Also, the other 3 Kage to like distract.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But anyway, so okay, it seems like we all agree. Let alone a perfect Susanoo and everything else Sasuke has going for him. So, you mentioned Rao, you mentioned the Jigen stuff. So I'm glad you say that. So let's just assume that we're correct. And when I say we're correct, I mean me and Uodie, about the whole stronger than Jigen actually refers to base Jigen, not Karma 2 Jigen. It's stronger than Jigen only refers to base Jigen. Let's assume we're correct about that. So, like, peak adult Sasuke with the Rinnegan, it's like only around that level. We are beyond base Jigen with the current threats, and that's fine. How is Cho Cho, who is less talented than Sasuke, works less hard than Sasuke, is younger than Sasuke, who is at a prime age, because Naruto in real life, the 30s, like prime age. She has less powerful power jutsu than Sasuke, like Susanoo and his other large-scale jutsu, has less hacks than Sasuke, has worse teachers than Sasuke, and everything else I've said. She's also not as intelligent, both in general and battle IQ-wise, as Sasuke. How is she supposed to be able to fight it in a battle against someone around peak adult Sasuke's level of strength? How? Does that make sense?
Bro, I don't even see it. I can't even picture a possibility where she even lands a punch.
By the way, Rue, I wanted to show you this because this is the funniest thing you're gonna see all night. We're going to go to.
Well, I mean, it's 7 a.m. where I'm at, so.
Oh yeah,
So,
So what if I told you Cho Cho is the canonically dumbest character in Boruto?
Which is consistent with Choji being the dumbest character in Naruto. based off his stats.
What the fuck? Damn.
You know what? The only thing dumber than her are literally toys. They're puppets. Puppets are dumber than her. That's the only thing dumber than her.
So you see the puppet weapons have an intelligence of 30. And Cho Cho has a 70.
Damn.
And you know, remember Garou, that kind of dumb Kara outer that like Delta's making fun of him. Like Delta, by the way, not that smart herself, is saying how that we should have replaced his brain while we modified him because he's so stupid. Yeah, he's smarter than JoJo.
If you can go refine that comment, I accidentally. Never mind. It's
I mean,
right
first
here.
of all, I wrote it there, but
so
it's in the pictures.
It's not in the pictures. These two pictures are the same. I didn't realize. I messed that up.
Bro, I don't really.
Okay, I don't know where that link is anymore, but
that's okay. But yeah, Shikamaru, you know, the guy with the IQ over 200, his intelligence is a 210. So intelligence is probably similar to IQ, which means Cho Cho's IQ is a 70.
Also, look at this.
Meat,
average attribute value is 60 for ordinary people and 90 for Genny. So she has below average intelligence for just Genin in general. She's barely smarter than an average civilian. But she's literally worse than the average Genin. So our more talented person. Yeah, she's dumber than most Genin in general.
Not good.
Bruh, that's gotta be racist, man.
Yeah, that's not where I was going.
Bro, he came out to completely cook their IQ.
But to be fair, Choji was also
gotta be racist.
Data book stat wise very low IQ, and he's the opposite race. So I don't think that's the issue.
This is revenge. This is Ikemoto's revenge to like Karui for beating up Naruto, dude. To make her child lower than gaining level smart.
Well, you know, speaking of Karui, I wrote this somewhere either before or after this, but like, let's just like not forget who her parents are. It's Choji and Karui.
Yeah.
It's a meme relation. It's a child born out of a meme relationship.
But
Karui's not that strong.
Neither Choji nor Karui are all that strong. It's not like if you randomly combine their two clans' lineage together, it gets some super duper boost.
JoJo doesn't use Karui's techniques. We see her fight. She doesn't fight like Karui.
She doesn't even use a kunai, dude.
Exactly. She uses nothing from Karui's arsenal, so we know that's not where she's getting it from.
Yeah.
Hey, Karui's weaker than Choji anyway.
Yeah.
But getting back to it.
Yeah, I need to walk away to do something real quick.
Oh my god.
If Rao wants to help.
Well, Rao, are you more awake now? Please take it away.
Arousal.
Yeah, go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
And Miss Anne, feel free to join it too.
About?
Well, this. We might have actually finished. Don't even pay attention. Less accents.
Does that make sense?
The worst teachers, everything else. To battle someone around peak Sasuke's level of strength. How does that make sense? Okay, well, Miss Anne, looks like you're up to bat.
The next generation surpassing the previous.
The next generation surpassing the previous generation that gets you here. Most ninjas aren't surpassing that level of power. Just like they didn't with Hashirama and Madara, and no matter what future generation they're in. Next generation. Yo, Ikimoto's greedy. Why do you even name yourself that, by the way?
Because it's true.
Yo, okay, look, the way I kind of see it though, let me just say this, the way I kind of see it is like every statement claiming that these Shinjus are like above Jigen level is pretty much just Ada saying they're above code now, which is obviously above Jigen. So I'm just thinking to myself, most of the I can't believe that that's true because we had Hidari. He was fighting against the only battle he really fought against is with Boruto and Sarada. Yes, those two are very strong, but even at that point in time, I don't even think Sarada was even base Jigen level, and she's tossing Hidari around. And let's go to the second person that we fought against, Ryu. All right, before Sarada got the Mankekyo Sharingan, they were relatively holding their own against Ryu. That is unfortunately because they had a cheat, which was Araya's sword. But all in all, they were still doing relatively okay. You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't do. I don't think they would do anything to Jigen if they were fighting like that.
Well, look, see,
they didn't seem that strong enough.
Well, ignoring Jigen for a moment, just for a moment here, because we have to get into the base versus Karma Jigen point. The part of the problem is you have obviously Boruto beat Code pretty easily. He said it was easy to kill Code.
Yeah.
He kind of proved it that he can deal with Code very easily. Then you have Boruto. Okay, he's clashing with each Shinju 1v1 for a moment. First Mamushi, then Hidari, kind of equally, but then he gets ganged up on. We can ignore that for now, even though that does show relativity. He says he wouldn't have been able to beat Matsuri easily if she wasn't already half destroyed. And when he fights Hidari, he doesn't just go beat him up like Code. He instead asks for help, specifically, like he needs help from Sarada and Konohamaru. And then even with that help, if Kawaki doesn't show up, Hidari heals and comes back, and they're back to square one again. So the fights, and also in the Mamushi invasion, 2 Mamushi clones have Boruto thrown against the wall. So it's consistently proven that Boruto can't just 1v1 body the Shinju like he did Code. And then as much as I don't like to use the scene, there technically is the scene of Ryu just yanking Code out of the claw mark and choking him out. So there technically is that. It's not real.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
not
would say
using
you could
that,
definitely
and
argue.
every time you mention that, I'm gonna say how that's not anything at all, and that I hate that in terms of our
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I started off by
pretty
saying
equal.
I don't like using
I
it,
know,
but
I know, but I'm reiterating how much I don't like it as well.
yeah. Now, obviously, with Ada, you can definitely say when she says that they're out of his league, you can't just attribute it to the whole group, which is totally reasonable, regardless of how he scales 1v1. But you just have the Boruto scaling that would just put the Shinju over Code 1v1. It's consistent how Boruto does. Base Boruto versus the Shinju is the most consistent power scaling thing in the story of Two Blue Vortex. It's always very close. 1v1, very close.
I think for the argument of them being stronger than Jigen, I honestly, from like just not even looking at power scaling, can't really agree just because Jigen's intelligence is so much higher. So like in terms of like emotional stuff as well, he was on a time limit, and then he also used things against Kawaki to like make him feel emotionally crappy in that situation. Like regardless of strength, he knows how to manipulate people, which is something the Shinju like can't do. So there's just like raw power. So even if like strength wise that the Shinju are stronger, intelligence wise Jigen is a lot smarter and could win a battle easier, I believe.
Well, you do have to begin to a question of, so in Naruto, the Uodie, we're not going to do the power scaling tier list debate sort of thing for this, but in Naruto, they do tend to call people strong when referring to even just a pure hacking. Like, they would say Boro's really strong because he has the virus and regen, which is entirely just like abilities.
Kawaki was
and
like,
then when they say, well, that's actually
Kawaki was
Kawaki
like,
even says in some
what's his
ways
name?
Boro's even worse
in
than
some ways,
Jigen.
it's worse than Jigen. Like,
Exactly.
right, that's not true.
Well, in some ways, he is worse.
I think the
worse
most
than
obvious
Jigen.
example that we could point to of all the people in the tuning exams, it wasn't Naruto who beat Gaara that they promoted tuning. It's Shikamaru who has the intelligence of 200 and gave up versus Tamari.
Exactly. Because he showed that with his intelligence, he's tuning level. Obviously, other people were also stated or shown to be tuning level, but like Shikamaru is tuning level because of his intelligence.
That's what makes him dangerous.
What Amado actually says about Code is his quote-unquote, well, he's in Viz.
his combat abilities exceeded even Jigen's, which isn't just saying he's faster and hits harder. It's saying the overall code, everything in his arsenal, his intelligence, his abilities, and his speed and strength are greater than Jigen. And then from there, they simplify, and then Amano says, actually, it wasn't just code. There was actually more cyborgs stronger than Jigen. They're putting these two in the same exact scene as Chapter 56.
Bro, what?
That suggests that Ikimoto, he didn't specify, oh, well, Code's abilities are better than Jigen's, but these other ones are physically stronger. No, he's just saying stronger than Jigen means the overall fighting ability, which would mean that it doesn't matter how smart Jigen is and how great Jigen's abilities are. Code's better, Ada's better, Damon's better, because their abilities or power, whatever it is that's making them better, is better. That's what they're doing. When they say it's stronger, they're not doing the distinction that Delta's faster than Boro. They're saying Boro's virus makes him better than Delta, regardless if she's faster. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you're looking for, Udy, there. I need to get back to what I was doing.
Yeah, I don't know where it is in the Ao arc, but I watched it just the other day.
What are you looking for?
There's a moment when Ao, because this is like a pretty big deal actually. A moment when Ao thinks back to the Ten Tails and realizes that he's just an ordinary man, and no matter what he ever did, there's beings in this world that he's never going to be able to beat, because no matter how strong he gets, he'll never be strong enough to be able to like surpass a being such as that. So
Wasn't it the point where he was like,
apply that to this.
you think not everybody can be as strong as your father, to Boruto?
Yeah, that's going against the next generation's rationalized.
That's funny. Well, it's Al thinking it, and it might have been in the first episode, but I don't know where it was because I haven't really watched much of that episode anyways. It might be on the train actually, but I have zero idea where this is at all. It could be anywhere in this freaking arc as far as I'm aware. It's obviously when Al is on screen, so that's helping out a little bit. It's also a very quick scene, so also not helpful. But it's a very important scene because it's one of the reasons that Al gave up on being a shinobi and why he accepted the scientific ninja tech. It's why he is what he is today, in a way.
Didn't they have that conversation on the screen when he pulled out the screwdriver on Boruto?
Okay, so I'm here, right here at the train.
Yeah, that's
Exactly what we're
this.
talking. Okay, so I'm glad that you seemingly maybe remember it better than me, but we'll find out. This was a scene that I did see. See, I wish I went back to rewatch the parts that I didn't quite see, but I don't. Yeah, it's so quick that I might have just like skipped over it. I don't know where it is. But if anyone else knows, let me know. Because it seemingly isn't
Did he
here.
say anything like that here?
Oh, that's too noisy. Yeah, because I don't think it's necessarily here, but it might be, but I don't know.
Okay, wait, what are you trying to look for exactly?
It's
actually?
when Ao is thinking about how he'll never be able to surpass certain beings. And he thinks
The
back to
only
Zindel's.
thing I remember of him saying anything close to that was when he was fighting with Boruto.
I don't think it's at the end though. That's part of the problem. I don't think we see Ao again until the cave when he kills Mugino.
Wasn't he like, yeah, wasn't he looking at one of his prosthetics when he said that?
I mean, unless it's like randomly in the next episode. Like if they flash back to this scene, maybe. But he probably is, yeah.
Like that,
Oh no, it could be when he has that flashback and you see him being remodeled by Victor and
It's all that
stuff.
scientific ninja
It's
stuff.
probably during that.
You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right, Kamui. I just don't know where that would be exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I don't know exactly
me
when that
think.
is, but it's probably during the fight when people are questioning him of why he. It's at
Yeah, it has
after
to
the
be.
cave scene.
That's the only time he says anything significant.
Okay, well, here's he's in the cave.
Yeah, so start there probably, and then
You know what? It
keep going
might
forward.
be around here, yeah.
to be fair, in the cave scene, he might just keep saying, "I can't talk about it." It's probably afterwards where he actually starts to let out his thoughts.
Oh, you know what? It might be right after the drones. Because Boruto
That's
asks him
Yeah, that's
why
what I'm
he
saying.
doesn't return
Jeez.
to the village.
Mm.
And Al gives us
That's
answers.
exactly what I said. So.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was that far. Okay, is it here? It might be here, yeah.
Yo, Kamui,
Yeah.
what type of music do you listen to?
I like everything, to be honest, but my favorite would be like rock and metal.
What's your favorite metal band?
My sister likes those.
Oh, it's hard to peg. I'd probably say either Disturbed or Avenged Sevenfold, but and between those two is very tough to say. I've seen
Yeah,
them
you
both
see, he
live.
was saying like around after the drones.
Say that again.
No, nothing about it. It's just nothing to worry about it.
Okay.
Have you heard of Epica?
Have I heard of what?
Epica.
Say it again?
Epica. It's like epic, and then it has an A on the end.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, not off the top of my head, at least. I might have heard them, but not known the name. Because that's definitely happened several times. When I went to a heavy metal festival with my brother in September, there was a lot of bands. I was like, I just didn't realize that was the name of the band. I was like, oh my god, I know them. There was one that used to play on the radio all the time. I had no idea. I was just like, oh my god, that's them. It was a complete random find, dude. Like, we just happened to walk over there, just heard them. I was like, wait, what?
Who's your favorite rock group?
See, the problem is when we have to start to blur the lines to what counts as rock and stuff. So
Okay, wait.
can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what generation of rock do you listen to? Do you listen to like classic rock or like newer?
Honestly, it's just very song by song dependent for the most part. But I feel like
He just listens to everything.
Yeah, but I don't listen to like the 60s rock. Like, I don't like to get Led Zeppelin out of here. I don't want to hear it. But like, I like Metallica for like I would say like for older ones, I say Metallica, and past that, pretty much just like 1990s to current, I guess.
Okay, we're in very different genres then.
That's okay. I'll forgive you. As long as you don't say that your favorite band's Rush, then we're gonna have a problem.
Bro, I have a friend that is so obsessed with Rush that you can
that's my
play
dad.
any of their songs for 1 second and they can tell you exactly what the song is.
And that's like my dad. He's obsessed with it.
Hello.
And I constantly make fun of him for it. Well, actually, our whole family does, but
I'm not that big of a Rush fan, but I do like YYZ.
oh yeah, exactly. That's my favorite one too. You know why? It's because the singer doesn't sing in it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the singer.
Exactly. He's the problem with the band. It's not that he's a bad guy. It's just I don't like his singing. But anyway, Udy, did you have any luck finding it? I can't see what you're doing.
It definitely wasn't that end scene. I feel like it is going to be this first episode here. I feel like I really want to find it now that I'm here, but I'll give up.
I don't think
in a
they
second.
showed us that much in the first episode.
Oh, they're talking all about the Ten Tails. Like, it'd be the perfect scene, perfect time, and it doesn't have to do with Karia.
Did you see the flashback of him like being fixed by Victor and stuff?
Yeah, that was at the drones, but it's not there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because obviously we don't know the Al working with Kara thing until after the train.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought it'd be after the train, but unless it's right after he talks to Koji and gets off the train.
If only I knew exactly where it was, it'd make this a lot
Could it be
easier.
like at the funeral scene or something?
That's what I'm
That
looking at, the
episode?
funeral scene.
Okay.
But it's apparently just not here. Yeah, so I don't know where it is. So I could just give up.
I mean, I feel like I do remember what you're talking about. No, I think it does exist. I don't think you're making it up.
Well, no, I'm definitely not making it up. I saw it like 2 days ago. So I just have no idea when.
Damn. It was kind of sad.
That was a good episode. Yeah, so it's clearly just not here, apparently.
I should have just let this nigga die, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell Uzi to stop because if the roles were reversed, I would keep looking. So I won't be the one to tell him to stop.
Oh,
Oh,
it.
wow. So this is where he says it.
Found it. Okay. So I'm just going to quote this. The doctor said that if I had continued rehab, I could have gone back to being a shinobi, though I wouldn't have been as good as before. So I gave up on that. But that's not all. I realized something during the Great War, and this is obviously the important part. No matter how much I train or master jutsu, and I'm going to share my screen again for this part.
Because I can't see.
That's okay.
What is the surrounding context of the scene?
I was talking to
What?
Mugino about why he retired being a shinobi.
Okay.
And so I'll say it again. But that's not all. I realized something during the Great War. No matter how much I train or master jutsu, I'm also going to... There's a limit to what I can achieve. And then he thinks back to Tyndall's. And then, like, does a, like a slight eye close, but not really all the way. That there are beings who exist that I can never beat. But I feel stronger by acknowledging that. And obviously, he goes like his scientific ninja tech stuff. That's how I can continue living like this. Okay. Let's just keep going on from there. Because I did everything I could back then. Yeah, I could just go back to like war stuff. But again, the point being, so how acknowledges it? Even like in his present day, there's nothing he could have done back in the day. He never would have been able to beat the Tyndales. It was a power
that's
stronger than him. Yeah, it's not that the Tyndales was stronger than him back then. It's that in now Owl's natural lifespan, if he kept training, he never would have been able to beat it. And keep in mind, this is just like stage 2 of the Tyndales or whatever. It's this version of Tyndales he couldn't beat. So weirdly, this Tyndale doesn't have its eye drawn. Oh, yes, it does. It's to the side. Okay.
It's on the side.
Yeah. Well, that is all Tyndales.
It's also not like a 10-tails jerky, it's just the 10-tails.
Yeah, and if we're apparently surpassing this Tyndales like 20 times over by Boruto.
So we have to ask, if Ao can't and never could, for what reason specifically? Again, give me a specific reason why Cho Cho can.
Exactly. Yeah. There are beings who exist that I can never beat. Word for word from Ao.
That's not to say that Cho Cho can't. It's to say, if she can, there has to be a reason. What is that reason?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm asking, are there beings who exist that Cho Cho can't beat? Is there one? Any of them?
If we go by that theory on Mello's channel, she is Shiba.
Oh, you'll love to see it. But I'm glad we covered that. Even if it took 30 minutes to get there. Kamui,
And the whole time I was slowly doing my stuff because I was so eagerly interested in helping you out.
Well, now that you're back, Kamui.
I'm not back.
Yeah, I was trying to wish I knew any existence there. Yeah, Cho Cho can be better than Choji. She can be better than adult Choji. but base Naruto/Sasuke are far stronger than adult Choji. Naruto has Toad Sage Mode, Kurama, and 6-path Sage Mode on top of that, or just Toad Sage Mode post-nerf. Sasuke has EMS and Rinnegan on top of that, or just EMS post-nerf. So, again, how is Cho Cho getting that high off of being more talented than Choji? Naruto and Sasuke aren't meant to be surpassed by everyone. Only very few anomalies can ever do that. Karui being Cho Cho's mom doesn't help, and actively only hurts her case here. She doesn't even use Karui's jutsu anyways. So yeah, like I was saying, you can't even make the headcanon excuse of, oh, the two clans coming together make a super duper power, like the Uzumaki and Hyuga coming together to reform the Otsutsuki bloodline. You don't even have that excuse here. Unless you want to say the Akamichi and whatever Karui's last name is coming together is actually some Flutsky clan. Like, I don't know.
Magic fusion. He said Flutsky.
Assuming Karui even comes from a clan.
Exactly.
Considering she doesn't have a last name.
Apply this to literally everyone who doesn't have Karma or Mitsuki Sage mode, which Ikimoto ruined anyways. Oh, by the way, I want to say for those who excuse it with, oh, their parents were really strong when they conceived their child. So why didn't that apply to Hashirama's child, who he canonically had?
Or Minato when he was really smart when he had his child and Naruto wasn't.
That has zero logic under that. What does that even mean?
It's to say that a lot of Naruto fans are stupid. They are
stupid. At that one.
How? How are they here? How? How does any of this make sense to you after what I said? Cho Cho is worse in every conceivable category than Sasuke. How is she better than any version of Sasuke at her age or older?
Frankly, what's getting her past Kid Sasuke? She's not even a Chunin yet. Sasuke was a Chunin, stage B Chunin level.
I think Cho Cho is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is your basis for this just because she destroyed some Mamushi clones?
Well, no, sorry. let me fix that. It's because she speed blitz one shot a Mamushi clone when an off-guard Mamushi clone can tank hits from Mamushi.
See, but that's part of the problem, though, Miss Anne, because let's just go with it for now. The Mamushi clones are dumber than Jigen, but statistically wise, they're stronger and faster than Jigen. Cho Cho didn't beat Mamushi by outsmarting him. She speed blitzed him. And if he's faster than Jigen, then are we saying Cho Cho speed blitzes Jigen?
I see.
That's the problem.
Then again, also, you want to say he was off guard, that's why his head blew off? Well, when he was off guard and the other Mamushi wanted to kill him, his head didn't blow up.
What if Cho Cho is just more powerful than Mamushi? Like, in terms of strength?
But he's stronger than Jigen, who could kick through Sasuke's adult Rinnegan infused perfect Susanoo.
Oh, that's a problem.
So, kid, base Cho Cho kick through adult Sasuke's full perfect Susanoo. That is the problem. But
I'll just write a letter to Kimoto for you guys and be like, hey, can you make sure this is fixed in the end?
Okay, that's hilarious. But Miss Anne, actually thinking about it.
That's so funny.
That is funny. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I You did okay. So I know that you sent in your letter of like the 100 questions. 90% of them were from me to Ikimoto for his like fan question thing that he did.
It was like 550, but yeah.
Yeah. And 90% of them were from me.
No, there was like 1/4 of them. 1/5 of them were from you.
Well, taking away my hyperbole doesn't make it better. But I get the idea.
You really just reaffirmed how many were from one person. Well, to be fair, a lot of those are also technically from me that he just sent to you for me.
Sure.
You had like 90 something.
We sent those in to you, and you sent them into Ikimoto because we were worried because they were, for some stupid, strange, ridiculous reason, there was never a deadline on this. It was just, hope you get them in on time, hopefully. But you sent them in, and that's the last we've heard. But correct me if I'm wrong, the deadline never ended, aka he's still to this day taking more?
They haven't put any more advertisements out for it, but there was never a deadline. It was just like, oh, collecting questions for a Q&A with Ikimoto. And then, so I thought that the deadline would have passed because they advertised it and for it like last, July?
Yeah,
maybe?
so like crazy long ago.
And I didn't get them in until October, but because the volume came out in like October 4th, I think it was, and they were advertising for it in the volume, I was like, oh, okay, it's still safe to send them in. So I sent them in like a couple days after the volume came out. And then he just didn't advertise or do anything else for it after that. I think genuinely, like, I know Japanese people do send in quite a bit of like fan mail and fan letters to mangaka, but I genuinely wonder if me sending in that giant packet of questions was the reason why they stopped advertising and the reason they're taking so long to get out the thing.
I like to say, what if he just got so many questions? He just like it was just so much all at once that he just didn't want to do it anymore. It was just too much for him, so he's just not going to do it at all.
Hilariously,
I separated it by category, so it'd be easier to like look through, so it wouldn't be so, I don't know. Anyway,
I love how you have like categories of like, I'll just make up random categories like lore, shipping, power scaling, Udy.
well, each character had their own category, and then you just had your own page. I was just like, this is from one fan. Here you go. I mean,
Oh my God, did you actually?
Categories, but
well, when he answers it, I'm hoping that we could like go over it so that I can show you exactly what that page looks like because we have it.
I mean, I still have it too.
Yeah, we got it saved somewhere. It's hilarious. I was hoping he was going to do it by now, but that's kind of hilarious to think that I could be the sole individual singularly responsible for the reason Ikimoto hasn't done this yet.
Well, to be fair, I'm not going to say it's just you because like half those questions are mine. So we'll share the responsibility.
Sure. The Walky Talky is the reason he's not doing it.
Exactly.
That sounds even better.
Nice ring to it.
Okay, that's a clip right there.
What you should have done is labeled it Walky Talky with the Itachi profile picture banner.
Oh my God.
And then everyone will know our questions.
The problem is, if Ikimoto looks up Walky Talky, he is banning our questions.
Well, to be fair, he might try to call us out, and that could get him to we could do a little back and forth there.
Yeah, see if we can invite him on the podcast like all our other haters.
Exactly. There we go.
We even have a translator right here.
You know,
well, I'm about to
objectively,
try to be
Obito might be more
so.
famous than Ikimoto, so it's possible.
Oh my gosh.
What'd you say, Miss Ann?
Oh, I said, bro, I'm about to have to be a professional Tsuyakusha.
Well, the reason I bring this up is, and to preface this, I'm not saying that you have to do anything, but under the hypothetical that Hikimoto's still open to more questions. Well, there's been like 10 chapters that came out since then, And our questions have only exponentially increased from its past 10 chapters. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if we're going for round 2, you know who's going to be first on the docket to ask some questions.
Yeah, if they say like, oh, we're recruiting questions for the Q&A again, I'm just gonna be like, what the heck, and then send in more.
Yeah, because like towards the end there, I was starting to reach for like some questions. It's just like, maybe he'll answer this. It's worth asking. But like now, there's some questions that need some asking from this past year. He needs some answers put out there at this point. He's done a lot of stuff since. But yeah. Okay. But back to Cho Cho here. I think Cho Cho has.
Oh,
yeah?
no. Go ahead.
Oh, well, Miss Anne, you seem eager to be talking right now, so did you want to take this paragraph?
Sure. Think Cho Cho is just an amazing anomaly of talent? Fine. What about Shikadai, or Inojin, or Konohamaru, or Araya, or Yoda? They're not all beyond Sasuke levels of talent, work ethic, sensei-ship, genetics, and free power-ups from Hagoromo. No, I'm not letting you letting you say that for all of these people when none of them have any of these things over Sasuke.
Well, would you
What a
agree
paragraph.
with that?
Yeah, I mean they're not they shouldn't be. Okay, so like I am in support of the older generation getting nerfed to make way for the younger generation, but I am not really in support of Cho Cho somehow like scaling above Sasuke and Naruto when she hasn't done anything, because that just doesn't make sense.
Again, and that you're not post nerf Sasuke, but pre nerf.
Yeah. Above Jigen, who goes above both pre-nerf characters at the same time. And these are characters who scale above Jigen, and then Cho Cho is scaling above them.
In base.
So what we're saying is full power Cho Cho is like 10 tiers above Jigen at this point.
Exactly.
Like I do think it was inevitable for the Shinju to be the younger generation's threat to face, and if because the Shinju scale above, Jigen, then it was going to be inevitable that everybody was going to eventually surpass Naruto and Sasuke in a power scaling sense. But I because
But also,
of the
real quick,
that
I don't know if I've worded it this way yet or not, but Delta, do you know that the weakest Kara weaker than Jigen, is just fodderizing these stronger than Jikens one by one, easily one after the other?
This is Delta 2.0.
Now you could say Abado made her stronger than the original, even though we have nothing to base that on. That's fine. But like, are Naruto and Shikamaru signing off a stronger than Jigen Delta to be made? No?
Nah, they don't think.
And how?
Nah.
The only reason the other people were stronger than Jigen is because they awakened these Shinjutsu and extra power amps that Delta doesn't have.
Oh, actually, I just thought of something, a completely brand new argument. Keep in mind, when Kawaki wants an amp to his power, apparently he overheats faster, or whatever happened there. That's not happening to Delta, who's apparently like 20 tiers stronger than she was previously, apparently.
Yeah, because again, like, the Shibai Cell people, again, like they awakened to something, and that's what put them on that higher level. Well, Code also has white karma, but like, they've awakened something. Boro has Shibai Cells too. He's not stronger than Jigen. Why? He didn't awaken a Shibai thing. Delta hasn't done that, so Shibai Cells isn't your answer. So she's going to be scientific ninja technically stronger than Jigen. Then she should have some side effects. She should have a giant core like Boro. She should be overheating like Walky or whatever else.
Yeah.
But she's not.
All this shit don't add up, man. All of these things don't add up. I still don't think Mamushi is a Jigen level threat.
Honestly, I don't think he's base Shiken level based on how he was presented, but then again, you have
He's
Boruto
not.
scaling where Mamushi is 1v1, kind of like Boruto level. And then you've got Boruto over Code, who is
Yeah, let's just say
definitely supposed to be stronger
let's
than
just
base
say-
Shiken.
let's just say maybe they are strong like that. Maybe he's powerful. I don't think he's base level Jigen level. 2, every time like Cho Cho and the rest of the guys were defeating these Mamushi clones, they were always not trying to attack back. So they had opportunities to hit them. You know what I mean? Like Cho Cho, while she was fighting Mamushi, Mamushi was trying to get at Ada. And plus, every time we've seen the Shinjus fight anybody, even like Boruto, the strong motherfuckers, they are always getting chunks taken out of them. Yeah, like durability is almost insanely low
actually,
for Shinjus.
you say that, but Mamushi tanked Boruto's lightning style jutsu.
Yeah. The
Nah,
one
man,
that
lightning
the,
style don't really
wait.
do-
No, that's not true.
nah.
That's not true. Because that lightning style equaled out Sage Mode Mitsuki's lightning style.
Yeah,
Maybe
but it's not
lightning
like
does
something that can
an
take
effect
chunks
with
out of you.
Mamushi.
What was that, Miss Ann?
Yeah, you're right. It's supposed to vaporize you.
Nah, nah. I don't really believe that. It
Okay.
does make sense that it would be a powerful technique, but I just don't see it.
So it's
working
not
that
going to
way.
take chunks
Like,
out of
it-
Mamushi, but it should probably be
Yeah.
effective, right? Maybe leave some
Yeah, it
some
should have. Yeah,
scratches,
like at
maybe,
the very
like,
least,
take
it
him
definitely
out,
should have
dismantle
vaporized that.
him,
Like,
beat him.
yeah, at the very least, maybe yes, it should have taken out that like clone clothing or something. But I still don't think that.
Yeah, keeping in
Naruto,
mind
nah.
that Kirin was supposed to kill Itachi, so that was mostly
Yeah.
natural lightning, by the way.
Nah,
Let
Kirin is
alone
just on that level.
Sage Mitsuki lightning.
Nah.
Then also you have
She's just a
Orochimaru
big fuck
Thanos
you
snapping
attack.
people. So
Yeah.
you get that.
Bro,
you get
anime
this.
Orochimaru is the
Like,
best thing in the
that's
world.
insane, dog. Why doesn't more people talk about that shit? Like this dude he didn't even move. He just and she just turned to straight dust.
Bro, she
Like,
doesn't
did
even
he
turn into
somehow learn the
blood.
particle
It's
style or
just
something?
gone. Yeah, exactly. That's
Like,
why I
bro,
can't
I-
say.
she just ceased to exist.
Like,
Look. If Orochimaru's debut to the Boruto TBV Vortex manga isn't Thanos snapping someone, I will forgive Ikimoto for a lot. I will forgive him for ruining Sword, as we've already collectively agreed on earlier this stream. I will forgive him for so much if Orochimaru debuts with this Thanos snap.
Like, we
Bruh,
can't even
he
say
just-
it's a
he
wind
just
scythe
made her
because there's not
cease.
blood. He's not cutting anyone. He's dismantling them somehow.
He used
Dude,
particle style on them or something.
Yeah, that's
Oh my god.
dog, that was hilarious, dude.
It was the coolest thing in the whole freaking branch.
I know. Anyways, Kamui, you're not done complaining about Cho Cho.
Oh my god. That's
Please
hilarious.
come back.
Okay.
Hurry up. Come on.
I think I alluded to this, but we never went over this. Okay.
I'd
Do you know
like to
what?
say, oh, you
No.
got it.
I'm not done complaining about
Oh, thank God.
JoJo.
Okay.
So I'll just give you as much Mamushi stupidity as you want. He's permanently off guard because he's that stupid. The Claw Grime are geniuses. I'll give you that.
Okay. While we're giving stuff, I also want to give Miss Anne her props. Instead of going on our constant, non-ending, never-ending, toxic slew of non-stop hatred for hours on end, instead of doing that, to give Miss Anne her props, she's absolutely right. The Shinju should be the next generation's antagonists. They're the next characters, and they've been since Naruto Next Generations. That's part of the point of the story. And that's a good thing. In fact, it was a good thing in Naruto Next Generations. But going back to the non-stop toxic slew of hatred, where that doesn't work, is comparing that to Naruto. So, first of all, just comparing it to the Pain arc, you have the adults there fighting alongside the children. So you don't need to write out the adults against the Shinju or anyone else in Two Blue Vortex for that matter, first of all. You can still have all the adults still there. So I don't know why we don't have Kiba fighting any of the Shinju or whatever.
Well,
but
also,
whatever.
even though it gets so at that point in time, the adults, minus Naruto being the exception,
That's what I'm
were
gonna get
still
to.
all better. Kakashi and Chosa were better than Choji. Kiba's mom was better than Kiba. Shikaku is still smarter than Shikamaru, and so on. They're still at top. You come to the war arc. Up until pretty late in the war, did they start to do surpassing things? Like, the freaking after Inoichi's died and the Ten Tails is out, is when Ino surpasses Inoichi with their mind transfer stuff. Shikamaru has to come up with a new plan after his father died. Choji technically got his earlier on with his butterfly mode expansion jutsu, but and so on. We're getting late into the end of the series, the final arc, when they're finally surpassing their parents.
That happens in a ton of shonen, by the way, Kamui. Even with the few you've seen, you've probably noticed. I'm sure it happens in JJK. It happens in Hunter x Hunter, technically. It happens in Death Note, how the 2 surpass the 1, you know what I'm talking about without spoilers.
Yeah.
It technically might happen in Attack on Titan, though I can't really remember anything like that. But yeah, technically with surpassing Erwin in a way, you know, the one guy. I'm doing all this without spoilers. It happens in Dragon Ball, but you haven't seen that. It happens in My Hero Academia, but you haven't seen that. But it happens a lot in My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Again, at the very end of the story, they're doing that in the final arc. It's like every character surpasses every other character, but they do a crazy amount there. It does it in like every story. So just like every shonen, it does that trope. It does it in Naruto too, as we just mentioned. So it's a fine trope. And again, it can do it in Boruto. It doesn't have to wait till the ending. There's nothing to say that it does have to do that. But again, I'm glad that you mentioned Naruto and the Pain arc, though, because getting back to that, you can have characters that are significantly stronger or weaker that are all fighting the same threat in the same arc. Kakashi, like one of the strongest people in the village, saved Aruka. You have Konohamaru saving Ebisu, and what do you know? Konohamaru isn't portrayed as stronger than Naruto. In fact, Konohamaru's saying that the like weakest path of pain that he's fighting is stronger and faster than him, and he has to be a ninja to hopefully, luckily, off guard it with the Rasengan or whatever. You have Sakura, who can fight the thousands of minions that the animal summoning can spawn, or Konan, who randomly Shino can fight. That's fine. You have all these characters. But then you have Tsunade, who's written out of the story because she has to be Hokage and order everyone around in the village and then do the Katsuyu summoning. Okay, so she's out of the story. Naruto, physically not there. Out of the story. Kakashi's there. He fights Pain. One of the best fights of the whole freaking franchise.
Loses,
but it's a
so
close
now
fight.
out.
Yeah, he's out like at the very beginning of the arc, technically, or at least of the invasion.
Jiraiya dead at the start.
Already dead, yeah, because he fought Pain, exactly.
Team Guy out of the village,
Yeah.
specifically written out.
Yeah, I was gonna mention specifically Guy because the 8 gates.
Yeah.
At least that's what everyone mentions. But Naruto, again, the big obvious one. Out of the arc until the very end, where he comes in to fight everyone. So again, you have multiple characters with different power
Well, not
levels.
even the very end. It's before the midpoint, but before
Yeah, you get
his
what I mean.
time to take over.
Yeah, of the Pain invasion of the Leaf. This is what I'm really referencing there. But yeah, so again, you're not having that here because Boruto, who's supposed to be significantly stronger than everyone else, considering he fodderized Code, who beat both Sasuke and Boruto like a couple years ago. So he's beating that, and then the Shinju are relative to Boruto. So that's how strong the Shinju are supposed to be. You're having Boruto fighting them at the beginning and throughout the Shinju invasion, but then you're having Cho Cho do better than Boruto, which would be the equivalent of the Pain arc. You have Naruto fighting alongside Konohamaru, and Konohamaru does better than Naruto. Against the Deva Path of Pain, by the way, not the weakest path. Konohamaru beats the Deva Path of Pain in this case. Or you have Naruto fighting alongside Choji, and Choji beats the Deva Path of Pain, whereas Naruto's losing against them. Like, however you want to portray it. It's just not working out. So that's kind of the two problems with that idea. But overall, I agree. The Shinju should be the Next Generation's antagonists, just like Naruto Next Generations had a lot of their characters being Next
but again, though,
Generation's
even then, though, like
antagonists.
the Akatsuki. No, obviously some of the Akatsukis go after, like, first of all, Might Guy and Kisame, but like technically Sasuke counts. He's in that generation. Sasuke with Deidara, Sasuke with Itachi, Naruto with Pain, Shikamaru with Hidan, I guess Kakashi gets Kakuzu, and so on. So there's a little bit of a mix match, but plenty of the younger generation do have some focused interactions. Sakura and Chio against Sasori, they're there fighting the big threat here. So
Yeah,
like
and that's
you
them
can
stepping
be
up.
involved. Like again, there's nothing saying that Cho Cho can't team up with Choji to have some
It's
super
gotta make
impactful things
sense.
against Mamushi, ignoring the fact that these characters don't have anything of importance with each other. But like, there's something saying you can't just do that.
It would at least be better. Might still complain about it, but it'd be a lot closer to making sense. But I think an even better comparison, because what you're describing, Kamui, is part 2, where the characters step up and try to surpass the adults, or at least be relative to them. They grow to that level, and again, like, they're stepping up. That's not to say the Boruto characters can't do that, but a better comparison would be the part 1 characters, the kids, the Genin, who have to fight on those higher ends, and Kishimoto, like, every time, writes around it. Haku's holding back like 99%, and they still can't beat him without Naruto's Nine Tails Rage Amp, which is stronger than Kakashi at that point in time. You have Konoha Crush. I'll just skip to that. You have Shikamaru as they're going after Gaara. Shikamaru stays back to hold off the sound tuning / joning that are following them. You know, the fodder characters of the arc. And that's who they have to fight. Those are the kids fighting the adults, the people that are way stronger than them. Shikamaru can't beat him. All he can do is hold him off. That's going to sacrifice his life. Asuma comes in to save the day, but Shikamaru did what he needed to do to stall for enough time. But he didn't know that was going to happen, but he did what he needed to do. That's a good way to write that. Again, you have the Akatsuki invades the village. Itachi does fight Sasuke. Sasuke fights Itachi there. Obviously, you have the adults coming in to bail him out. But Kishimoto wrote around that through the adults doing that, so Sasuke can fight Itachi without any, not long-term consequences, but like permanent consequence. Well, even that, I guess. You get the idea.
Without any like power scaling consequences.
Yeah.
Like narratively, there's consequences, but in the intentful good way.
Yeah, and Sasuke's not dying as a consequence, is like an example. Or even like Sasuke versus Orochimaru Force of Death. Orochimaru's obviously not trying. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then you have Search for Tsunade. Kishimoto nerfs all 3 of those characters. I think he even says, maybe arguably in one translation, how nerfed they are to 50% or 20% or whatever they say. So Naruto,
at least in the
like,
anime, I think they might say like Jiraiya was at like 10% because of the drug or whatever the number was.
And they're all fighting like relative-ish, so they're all at like 10%-ish. Tsunade with her favorite blood, Orochimaru with his lost arms, whatever there. And then obviously Naruto's more like focused on Kabuto, but like he's bringing the power scale down.
Kabuto's nerfed by
to get
that
to those
point of the
levels.
fight.
Yeah, that's true as well, yeah. With his belly button moving his left hair strand, yeah.
Yeah, and he also had an arm that was all screwed up from Tsunade. It just straight up was messed up. He couldn't use one of his arms. That's why he doesn't just rip out
Just got done fighting
Naruto's
Sasuke.
kunai with his other hand because it was messed up.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have Kimimaro coming in, Sasuke retrieval arc. Oh, technically, I mean, Sound 4 is already Jonin level, but he has already crazy ways of getting around that with the Sand Trio, the Red Pill, Neji Luck. Not really luck, but you get the idea.
Okay,
like,
the difference
Neji
with
says
Neji
he's
though is,
stronger than him.
okay, Neji's just being Neji, but the difference there is Neji was only constantly 24/7 praised to be the strongest, most talented person of all time. So it's like, yeah, I can understand if Neji, surpassing his limits, can do this when he's only been stated to be that guy, unlike Cho Cho.
Yeah, but then again, Kimimaro comes in. Shikamaru Naruto can't do anything. Nine Tails Naruto, 1,000 Shadow Clones can't do anything. Lee comes in to bells out Naruto, can't do anything. Gaara, the freaking Kage level combatant, comes in to bell out Lee can't do anything. Kimimaro has to die from his sickness. So like Kishimoto, but again, that's good writing. Kishimoto's writing in 1,000 excuses for these part 1 characters to have fights on
Well,
a
also,
higher
about
scale level,
Kimimaro,
similar to the adults.
he's not just shoehorning any either. Like, he didn't just have Kimimaro die of
Exactly.
his illness and say, "Oh, he was actually sick." It's the whole time before he even got there. We knew he was sick.
Yeah. And the kids' fights are woven into the arc in the same way that the adult fights are, to where neither end is woven in. He's not shoehorned in. He's not shoehorning in Kakashi and Guy versus the sound every fodder ninja ever. In the same way, he's not shoehorning in Naruto versus Gaara. It's like similar idea. I guess Hiruzen versus Orochimaru compared to Naruto versus Gaara would be a better example, since those fights are like so almost intertwined in a way with like A story, B story. Obviously,
Yeah.
different scales, but you get the idea. But all that said, that's what they do in part 1 of Naruto, and they aren't doing like any of that in Double Vortex. Because you're not having Boruto being written out of the story. He's not coming in at the last moment. You're not having any of the other strong characters either fighting other strong characters elsewhere as the kids fight weaker characters elsewhere. You're just not having any of that because the strong characters just aren't there, and it's not explained why they aren't there. You're just having the weaker characters scale up.
Yeah,
The strongest characters.
I'm going to give you more examples. I'll start easy, and then I'll do the real sinker one last. Car actuation arc. Naruto and Sasuke aren't on the mission. It is as simple as that. They're just not on that mission. Okay, that's why they're not there. Skipping ahead to the big one. It's not just Boruto. It's Ikimoto. The Code arc. Why isn't Sasuke there investigating Code's whereabouts? And he ended up at Boruto's hideout. Not. Technically, they didn't do this the best way because they kind of gave us the full answer afterwards, but we knew he was looking for Code, and we found out why he's not there. At least they did it after the fact. Naruto is dilly-dallying with Ishii. At least they're writing it. Gathering sage mode. Not the best way, but they're doing it at least.
The cherry on top, and I hate to keep coming back to this, but the cherry on top, Ikimoto did establish the power level of these characters at the beginning of Two Blue Vortex. It's not this infallible 3-year time jump so they can scale wherever they want, ignoring all consistency with the rest of the universe. It's not even that. Ino Shikacho are struggling to the claw grime from chapter 2. They go from that to speed blitzing Mamushi. You can't do that. Cho Cho would have been devoured. She would have been bitten by the claw grime and turned into a tree in chapter 2 if she wasn't bailed out. So how do you go from that to the Mamushi thing?
Mind you again, Ino Jin's there for the claw grind. He's not there for Mamushi. Ino Jin's actually the one who saves Cho Cho from being devoured, and he's not there for this.
And that's just ignoring that
And you
it
count
just
that.
saved
That was
them
kind
but
of
didn't
off guard,
defeat
though.
the claw grime. Still needed Kawaki to defeat
Well, you know,
it.
you
So it's
can't
not like
say the
Cho
off
Cho
guard
being
thing
saved.
because Mamushi can do the exact same ability, not just by coming out of his claw marks, but by splitting. He just has the ability to just copy word for word, frame by frame, the same thing. The claw grime are as brain dead as it gets, so if they can do it, Mamushi can.
That's literally the easiest
Well, I guess
fix,
that makes
though.
sense, though.
Because,
There were
I mean,
only 3
Mamushi
at the
has
time
the
when he
claw
was
marks
fighting.
all over his
Well,
body.
also, Mamushi does that tactic to Boruto in the beginning of the invasion. Like, he literally, Boruto chops one down, another one pops out and catches him, throws him against the wall.
Wait, let me see. I gotta catch it.
Or something very close to that anyway.
Because,
Like, it's
like,
very akin to that idea.
Yeah.
I do understand where you're coming from now. I think that was chapter 28.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of surprising that Boruto was kind of getting like jumped by Mamushi a little bit in chapter 28.
Well,
like,
well,
at
it
the
would be
beginning of the arc.
consistent with what we've seen previously from those two characters.
which is good.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
not a problem. That's where the power scaling probably should be.
Okay, so
But
he
everything
does kind of.
else.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
First of all, Boruto slices one, and multiple pop out of the other one. One attacks. He slices that one off. Then another one came from nowhere and just like pops him in the head.
Throws him
So
against
it
the
is
wall.
kind of similar. Yeah, he just smashes him against the wall.
So
It's
why
not that
isn't 2 doing this to Cho Cho?
Alright,
And I'm not
so
asking for it to beat Cho Cho. I'm asking why Cho Cho it doesn't have her back against the wall in a single panel. Why does Cho Cho have no Why does Cho Cho performing Gaara's Force of Death beat while Boruto's got scratches all over
Right.
him?
Oh shit! What the fuck is that?
Bro, hold on.
Holding.
What should we hold on to?
Damn. Sound like somebody just revved a chainsaw behind me.
It's probably Ikimoto coming to get you after you get exposed to me.
So Cho Cho. Okay, they're against like 3 kilograms here. Nah, I just can't feel like I can put in the same length because like yes, what's his name? Mamushi is replicating. He didn't replicate again like after the first replication. She bopped the first one and then one just popped out to the other, like literally on a blind spot. Then
Yeah,
Ninja
but
just
why
saved
can't they
her.
just do that to Cho Cho?
I don't understand.
Like, there should just be so many of them, she can't keep track of where they are.
That easy.
She should be surrounded inside a circle of Mamushis.
Exactly.
Oh, she could have been, but I don't know, Mamushi.
But
I
then
guess
she
that's
beat them
another
all.
compliment to his stupidity.
Like, but claw crime. 1 isn't dumb enough. Mind you, like, I've gone over this before. Ignoring what I write in this message that we haven't gone back to, the point is that the Shinju gained the I word, intelligence. You know, the thing that Cho Cho's the lowest ranked in? They gained intelligence, and that's what makes the Shinju different from the Ten Tails. So even if the Ten Tails doesn't have intelligence, so if you take away all the Mamushi's intelligence, he's as dumb as he can get, as instinctual as he can get. It just puts him right back to the Ten Tails, aka the Claw Guy.
Yeah, that's true though.
The problem is, if we're saying that Mamushi caps out at 1,000, and that's realistically untrue, he caps out at more than 1,000, to an unquantifiable amount, by the way, which is so unfortunate. We never get a single number on it, but I'll say 1,000. Mamushi's at like 50 when Cho Cho does her feat. So just doing some simple math here, pulling out the handy dandy
sharp
calculator.
Decreases each time, so 50 should be way smarter than 1,000.
Yeah, so he's at 95% intelligent at that moment, by the way.
Nah, it's just me being biased though. My perception is that he's just always dumb. Sometimes, most of the time, because he's just Mamushi.
95% as intelligent as
so
he
even
is.
Well, if he's always dumb, okay. Well, he was dumbly beating Boruto.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why weren't the Claw Grimes beating Boruto then?
That is true though.
Yeah, there you go.
52, right? Man, I'm so scared of this damn chapter 32. That shit got me cooked on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we wanted to have you on with other people that got cooked at the same time. But we
Oh,
got to
yeah.
do that.
Have you already done that stream or?
No, we haven't had. Well, technically, you're the first of the bunch to come on right now.
Yeah, we'll have you back on
Yeah.
hopefully when we get other people on like J-Man at the same time as well. But yeah.
Indeed.
But I think all of this would have been so simple to fix if instead of Mamushi clones, he just, like every other Shinju, just spawned Clawgrimes. Why not?
Yeah. And then he has some ability relating to that. But that's a separate thing.
Because that's
We've
not a
rewritten
problem.
this whole thing so
Yeah.
many times.
Like, we're establishing where the Clawgrimes are. In my opinion, I think the easiest scaling, regardless if it's true or not, the Clawgrimes are just scaled similarly to the Ten Tails fodder minions from the War Arc. I don't think the claw marks themselves are physically amping them. They're just giving Code an advantage, which technically makes them stronger, but only if Code uses them. Otherwise, they should probably be the same strength. It's just my headcanon. It just makes it easy. So then we can like compare that to where the characters are in the War Arc. Okay, beginning of 2 Blue Vortex, those characters are relative to the War Arc versions of their characters. You know, beginning of 2 Blue Vortex Cho Cho relative to War Arc Shoji. At least in base. I'm fine with that. That's not a problem for me. Okay, so that's where we get. But then, if we have Cho Cho now beating the Clawgrimes rather than Mamushi clones, that actually still works. We're upscaling the characters to a realistic degree rather than an unrealistic degree. It's showing, hey, progression, a level of growth that's like acceptable.
Well, and you know, also long-term consequences here, because Cho Cho didn't skyrocket in power because of a specific thing, like, oh, she learned Sage Mode, or she learned the Rasen
That's part of the
Shuriken, or she
problem.
learned Boruto's Flying Regime. She just generically got stronger. So
Yeah.
now we're gonna have to ask ourselves, she increased this much in 1 week from just whatever potato chip training. So 3 arcs from now, when the timeline says it's 1 year later, we're gonna have to ask ourselves why she isn't just like soloing Shibai based off her rate of growth. If she's just the same strength still, we're gonna say, well, what the hell? What did she do differently that week versus this week?
And it's probably only been like a month in universe at max. In Tuba Vortex. And I don't think she's been training much in that month, by the
No,
way.
it hasn't
more
been.
than
It
normal.
hasn't been that long though, because like
Yeah.
we
Compared
got
to
the
3
3
years you
days
just
for this
had.
arc after the Sand mission, and the Sand mission was like the same day as the other thing because Shikamaru got the call about Shinki and stuff during the interrogation, which was like the next day after the Hidari invasion, which is like at max a week before the Code invasion. So it's like 2 weeks max here.
Exactly. Like the most we got was that couple day time skip that we don't know if actually happened or not.
It was no, actually, it was just 4 days. So.
What's that?
Well, nah, I made a mistake.
Okay. But yeah, timeline just.
I was thinking it was like
weird.
4 days from the battle against the kilograms. It was only 4 days against the like Jura battle to the Mamushi battle.
Yeah. They say that this chapter.
But to be fair, that
doesn't
battle
really
was like
make
2
sense.
days before, 2 days after the car.
Yeah.
And let's say like max 3-4 days too. It does take like 3 days to get to the sound.
Well, not consistently. First of all, we don't know if they used the Thunder Train. First of all.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Oh my god.
But assuming they did. Oh wait, hold on. There was something about the whole 3 days to the
They
Sand
probably
mission
used
thing
the
we had as
train.
the previous old topic. I
Seemingly-
can't remember what that was about.
Seemingly Boruto traveling to Sasuke at the beginning of the Urashiki thing in the sand desert. That seemingly was same day. But I'd have to go back and rewatch it, even though I rewatched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like the freaking 3 minutes, bro. He just got there like
Yeah. So there you go. Now you did have a 3 days thing, but I don't know. When I was rewatching, it sounded like it said 3 days, but you had like a 3 days because the desert, so they had to stop because of the storm or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, even if you give it 3 days, I mean that's 3 days doesn't make it at 1 month, first of all. But even if it was 1 month, I mean, like again, like this isn't Naruto landing Gamabunta levels of increase or Sasuke doing Lee speed training levels of growth. This is freaking going from below clock grind to stomping Boruto.
Exactly. So I like you were saying, at this rate of growth, Cho Cho is gonna be like Shiba level like tomorrow. But like for all those people that are currently saying that this is consistent, or the power scaling where Cho Cho is currently is consistent, which I don't think freaking anyone's saying that at this point. But for those for the Troys out there, why weren't they freaking out like a year ago in chapter 2 or whatever? 2 years ago, technically. Maybe 3 years ago at this point, almost. Dang. Like 2-3 years ago in chapter 2 when Cho Cho wasn't fodderizing the Claw Grimes, who should be weaker than Mamushi, who she fodderizes. Like, why was it consistent back then for these people?
Well, also, again, we've got precedents here. We have the Shinju versus Gara, Shinki, Araya, and Yoda. You know that for 2 of those people are part of that Ryu's fighting squad, by the way, where they have the anti-Ryu hacks. But, yeah, the Kage and the 3 like strongest Genin ever, and they lose. They get body. Matsuri doesn't have a scratch on her. She literally fodderizes them. And all the Shinju have been depicted as pretty relative. If anything, Mamushi's the strongest. Just not only based on his feats against Boruto, but like just his ability just to have that many numbers. I don't care if it's 5 Mamushis. That alone is just going to be better than Matsuri. But like, so are we all just going to agree that base Cho Cho beats Kazekage, Gara, Shinki, Araya, and Yodo at the same time? No sweat? Does that sound right to you?
It don't sound right.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
It don't sound right.
Exactly.
Man, I just feel like this battle with Mamushi was kind of weird. Because,
Well,
like,
you
I
feel
know he ain't. It just feels like he's not trying to fight them most of the time. At the very least, the only like he
Well, he gets
realistically
angry and tries
only
to kill
attacks
him.
when they attack. Yeah, he does. That's his thing, though.
Keep in mind, Cho Cho calls him
like,
easy peasy.
Bruh, even
So
when like what Inojin took over Koji's body, like Inojin was able to dodge with a weakling's body. It's like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, also, it's not just that. Okay, so we'll come back to this later, but just to quickly say it, it's not that Mamushi's not fighting back. It's that, as quoted, Mamushi is weak. That's what this chapter told us. It's not that Mamushi's not fighting back. He just is weak. We're going to come back to this, but that's the canonical answer. So, Boruto, stronger than Code, who's stronger than Jigen, is weak. Does everyone agree with that? Hey, Jonathan Albert, Troy, and you guys agree with that? Boruto's just weak canonically? He's weak by Inojin standards.
You know, as opposed to Cho Cho.
Remember, the star of hope, the irreplaceable person for Koji's plans, he's weak.
The guy who's supposed to fight off and beat Jura.
He's weak.
Huh.
The guy who's comparable to Kawaki, who thinks Jura's reachably in sight.
Bruh.
Oh, I love that. We have to start saying that more.
But anyway, I guess if you want to go back to the topic.
Sure. I don't know I have no idea, bro. We're freaking Konohamaru scales. He was weaker than Koji, who was weaker than 10% Jigen. And now he's fighting the Shinju, but I don't know if he's supposed to be on that level. Like, is he supposed to be stronger than Gaara? Or...
Well, the thing with Konohamaru is, well, first of all, it's inconsistent, but ignoring that, we can understand Konohamaru. Okay, I disagree with what I'm about to say. He shouldn't be stronger than Gaara, but it's more understandable because Konohamaru is an adult.
Yeah.
He's stated to be talented in these other things that Cho Cho isn't stated to be.
Yeah.
And his anti-feats are always just like him going up against like the Kashin Kojis, the Kara Inners, and these really strong people. So they're not really like bad things. Like, so if Konohamaru just was stronger than Gaara, it's like, okay, he's one of the next in line to be Hokage. He's an adult. He is talented and all these other things. I don't think this series has ever presented him as being on that Kage level yet. But, like, it would just be like, oh, okay, I guess I could understand.
But again...
It's not as ridiculous as Cho Cho's sudden increase in 3 days. Konohamaru's also would have occurred over the 3-year time scale. It's like Konohamaru went from Arc 1 to Arc 2 in this ridiculous way. He's just been consistent the same, realistically. It's like, yeah, we didn't see him do the big ball Rasengan in the first arc, but we saw him do other Rasengan jutsu that he never did before. So... yeah. Konohamaru over 3 years made a Cho Cho level increase. That's more understandable than Cho Cho in 3 days. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he lost Mugino in part 1. That could have lit a fire under him. And then obviously losing Naruto. That could obviously do some huge things for Konohamaru. But at the same time, again, Konohamaru's already an adult. He probably should have most of his power. He's not getting Hagoromo amps or anything. So it's like he's going from 30 to 33 or whatever. Again, he started losing to Koji, who's under 10% Jigen. So Konohamaru...
badly losing to Koji.
To be fair, Konohamaru just fought Ao, so he's probably on Chakra. And Koji surprised him with the Rasengan.
Okay, so but Koji wasn't even close to trying.
I know. But just for this, we'll be nice. And we'll say he was just losing... to Koji. Koji's just stronger than... we're not going to say massively strong, we'll just say stronger than... and then Jigen was stronger than Koji at 10%. So Konohamaru is weaker than 10% Koji. Again, even that's a stretch. He's way weaker, but we're just going to say weaker than 10% Koji. Konohamaru is contesting the Shinju, who are supposed to be stronger than Koji. By the way, 10% Jigen was base Jigen.
Oh, yeah, okay, they are supposed to be strong. I was going to say, we don't know that, but yeah, they are supposed to be through Jigen and code stuff.
Yeah, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, the 10% Jigen that we saw fight was most of the time base Jigen, not Karma Jigen. It might have been Karma Jigen, like...
well, I actually have, I think I wrote some points about that somewhere, but basically, the base 10% Jigen is scrapping with Koji. He's killing all the clones every time. Koji doesn't land a single hit there.
Yeah.
And then Jigen goes Karma, immediately kicks Koji back, and then Koji just does the plan.
Yeah, okay, so we don't see Karma Jigen versus Koji realistically at 10%.
Yeah, you see Karma Jigen kick Koji once, and then he's in the Dark Swamp, and then...
perfect. So then so then, and by the way, it's less than 10%. It could be as low as like 2%. But ignoring that, we'll say it's 10% for now, which is more than it is. And it's base. It's not Karma. So it is 10% base Jigen that Koji's losing to, that Konohamaru lost to. But we're just going to say Konohamaru loses 10%. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Konohamaru, at the massive upscale beyond realism, is 10% Jigen. At his, 30-year age. Are we really going to say 33-year age Konohamaru got over 10 times stronger? Not twice as strong, not 50% stronger, not 20% stronger, not 3 times as strong, not 5 times as strong, not even 10 times strong. Over 10 times stronger to now be able to beat Jigen. Let alone Koji.
That's the conservative estimate when it's really 100.
Because, realistically, can 2 Blue Vortex Konohamaru beat Part 1 Koji? Can he do that? I mean, he was worried about Garo. To be fair.
Who Cho Cho's dumber than.
That is hilarious. To be fair, Garo thought he could have been an inner member, so he's probably a strong outer member. And also, again, Konohamaru just got done with a ton of fighting. He also doesn't fight Garo one-on-one. We don't know how that would have looked
Yeah, but it's
like.
kind of implied that, like, again, like, Ao is presented as stronger than Konohamaru too. Like, the Outers were stronger than everyone there individually besides for Mitsuki in the Sage mode, because Mitsuki's sandbagging that whole time. But, he just is stronger than them. I think the same applies to Garo. Kawaki uses karma to beat Garo at the end of the day. I know Kawaki's technically tired. He's also fighting like crazy there that he never does again. But and I don't see any reason why Konohamaru is beating Karma Kawaki at that point in time, based on what we see.
Exactly. So we get that Konohamaru from part 1. Are we really gonna say Konohamaru from part 2 is that much stronger? Like, realistically. Because keep in mind, Koji was not relative to 10% Jigen, base Jigen. He was losing to him.
We can even give him relative. It doesn't matter. Like,
exactly. So,
but again, now that he was losing badly, I'll give him relative because he's put up a good fight. But Jigen's landing hits, Koji's not at the end of the day. So Jigen has the upper hand, aside from Koji's obvious plan that why Koji wins. But
yeah. Well, you know, either way.
Maybe Jigen has just traumatized me to believe that nobody can be stronger than him. At least most people can't be stronger than him.
Yeah. But getting back to the topic.
Walked away for a minute.
Of course you did. Where were we?
Like the second line or something.
I'll just give you as much Mamushi stupidity as you want. He's permanently off guard.
Yeah.
He's that stupid. The claw grind are geniuses. I'll give you that. Let me make it clear. I'm giving you Mamushi being so stupid he's permanently off guard. And I'm gonna ignore off guard Mamushi tanking hits from Mamushi. He's just off guard 24/7. You know what though? You can't get more off guard than off guard. That's as off guard as it gets. Off guard. So stupid. That means when I bring up off guard feats, they're off guard. And we're going to attribute off guardedness to the off guard people who are off guard. Only gets stupider.
Which I keep emphasizing.
So Mamushi's stronger than Jigen, right? I don't care if you use base Jigen, Karma 1 Jigen, Karma 2 Jigen, Ishiki himself, because they all have what I need. Why wasn't off guard Jigen's head blown off when Naruto kicked him off guard? Good point. Why wasn't off guard Karma 1 Jigen's head blown off when Sasuke kicked him off guard? Why wasn't Ishiki's head blown off when Naruto kicked him off guard?
Right, you just too.
He's off guard as off guard can get. I gave you permanent 24/7 off guard Mamushi stupidity. You're telling me you're okay with base Cho Cho blowing up beyond Jigen level Mamushi, but not Naruto or Sasuke? You're okay with Cho Cho blatantly being stronger than peak adult Naruto Sasuke? Kamui, feel free
I
to
guess
come
let's
back
just
anytime.
replace Jigen with Mamushi in the Naruto and Sasuke battle.
Yeah, so they get body bagged and Cho Cho wins.
Of course. Speed blitzes one-shots their heads off. Through
Again,
their Karam Avatar and Perfect Susanoo.
just to reiterate, the point with off guard is you're off guard, so your defense and everything is as low as it can get beyond like you're
Yeah, it's
just
true.
being strong and you have a state of being that's always strong because you're strong, but like you're not amping a single bit because you're off guard. That's what we're giving you with Mamushi, which we don't even know is the case. We're just gonna give you that. And when Ishiki's off guard, what you're saying is Cho Cho killed them. All right, that in there.
I gotta get a pen and paper first. Let me mark out all the times that Mamushi fought. Maybe try to compare them with like all the climax. Where's my pen? Hold up. 'Cause this gets a little too serious.
I can reiterate here too. Also, you can give Team Shikacho, or really Team Shikacho, the most amazing strategy of all time to land this hit. I don't care. Give them way more. Give them whatever you want. You can't undo the fact that Mamushi's head blew up. So there's no getting around. Like Ikimoto drew that, and there's nothing you can do to say about it. He did that. It happened. And you can give Cho Cho the best teamwork of all time. You can give Cho Cho the most off guard, whatever. It doesn't. Nothing you can do. You're screwed. You that Cho Cho can blow up Ishiki's head with a base sponge.
Okay, then that's kind of coming from the point of durability then.
Yep, that's ridiculous because Ishiki's a freaking tank.
Ishiki is obviously a tank, man. This thing he's still like held off against Baryon mode Naruto. That's insane.
Yeah. He tanked off guard hits from Naruto.
Still didn't affect his ass. Alright, so let's see. If we're going strictly based on like street durability, that means we'll have to consider every Shinju in terms of the durability. So first time we ever see a Shinju, let's go chapter 4.
It's Mamushi, tank, Boruto's,
Yeah.
Sage Mitsuki Lightning.
Yeah, it really is crazy because sometimes you would think, all right, the first attack that Mamushi blows, you would think like Boruto would just dodge that. All right. But in this like specific panel, I don't know if I can add it to the damn whatever.
Well, no, that's a good point, actually. So Mamushi is fast enough that Boruto uses flying rising to dodge, but Cho Cho can just dodge and parry and do whatever she wants.
Nah, she didn't dodge nothing.
Yeah, she didn't dodge. She just outsped him.
Oh my god.
She didn't have to dodge because she was that much faster.
She was just Minato level fast now.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna have to use so many assumptions. Let's just assume in this page that Boruto was just revving himself up to block the attack. Even if that was the case, he pushed him back to a wall. This is the first time he pushed him back to a wall. He attacks with what do they call it? Chidori stream, alright? So first attack.
No, that's not Chidori stream. Boruto's using a different jutsu there. Because just to clarify, Chidori stream would be like paralyzing, like what Sarada does to Hidari. Boruto's using his Thunderbolt jutsu. It's drawn the same way, the same hand sign. It's what he does versus Sage Mitsuki. Again, so just to clarify, we're not just equating base Cho Cho to Sage Mitsuki. We're putting base Cho Cho over Sage Mitsuki.
Nah. I can't even confidently say that. That's too scary. Nah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. All right, let's Thunderbolts, right? I'm actually writing all this down.
I want to see this pen and paper when you're done.
Yeah. Bruh, so
yeah, we'll see the diagram.
Boruto attack Boruto attack. First attack is Thunderbolt. Result, he tanks that technique. All right. He like, oh my god, tanked. All right,
Yes,
so
he did.
so because this is not Chidori stream, it didn't affect him pretty much. God damn, he did it. He then pulls out like this freaking dragon-looking technique, and then Boruto had to use the Flare Edge to get away from him.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it didn't like paralyze him, it just whatever. It just didn't affect him enough for him not to attack, rebound the attack. So that was smart. All right. Let me write this one down too. So Mamushi replies. That
Well, I
would
also
mean
want
that
to just show this again. You can say Ikimoto forgot. I don't even care. This is the like a page or two after. Yeah, it's yeah. I guess it's 2 pages. But so I put this in chat. Mamushi with 0 battle damage.
Yeah.
2 pages later.
Literally.
Yeah.
Not damaged. He's
At
fine.
all.
All right.
Keep in mind, that's the Boruto's lightning jutsu that equals out Sage Mode Mitsuki's lightning jutsu. So that means, what this
And
means...
also, Boruto's arguably probably trying harder here, if anything, because he wants to kill these guys, whereas with Mitsuki, he wouldn't necessarily want or need to go harder. So, it technically might just be stronger. There's no reason why he'd be trying harder in the Mitsuki fight than here. So, it's at worst equal to Sage Mitsuki's lightning, if not stronger.
But what this means, because he tanked Boruto's lightning, that means this Mamushi would tank Sage Mode Mitsuki's lightning attack. That doesn't sound like a problem on first glance, until you realize what this means. Cho Cho base Cho Cho's punch is stronger than Sage Mode Mitsuki's lightning style ninjutsu.
His go-to specialty Sage Mode attack
is weaker
I
than base
feel like I
Cho Cho's
can
punch.
get under that, which is crazy. Bruh, I don't know, man. It just feels like the nature of the technique. That's just how I feel about it.
Is what now?
I just feel like it's the nature of the technique. Like,
what do you think it's supposed to do?
Like, okay, Thunderbolt clearly at an insane level of Mitsuki Snake Sage Mode Lightning should, at the peak of peak, all right, vaporize anything that is weaker than it, obviously. But it's still a lightning technique. Like, it's not like a force. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, okay,
like
here's a better point then.
Would slightly hit harder.
So it can be different damages, but you agree, like, it should damage the opponent, right?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, so Mamushi isn't damaged. Now, a punch, at no point, frankly, prior to Cho Cho, punches just have never... I guess Might Guy with his 8 gates versus Madara is the only other example. So we got 2 examples in the whole story of 8-gate Night Guy and base Cho Cho are the only examples of a punch just blowing up body parts.
Unless you want to
So it's not like that's what punches do in Naruto.
Unless you want to...
So like she's doing this 8 gates level punching here. It's crazy punch. It's a mega punch.
She blows
up.
Okay,
Mitsuki
I guess I'll let Kamui talk.
No damage. I don't care if it's different types of damage. She's just not doing damage.
You have Sakura punching people and blowing them up. You have Tsunade and Raikage technically doing it as well. Usually against that
blow someone up?
Sakura does it against Sasori. Yes, that's a puppet, but still. Adult Sakura does it against...
because he's just...
Okay, Adult Sakura does it in the novels, but she also does it against Sheen, if you want to count that, since he has this organ destroyed.
Well, does he get an organ destroyed, or Does a hole in his body get vaporized?
Yeah, that's true though.
I mean, I
Like
think
I'm
it's
saying,
just
like
both.
is Shin's body
that's-
there where he's punched, or is that part of his body just
No,
gone,
no.
particle style?
Isn't Shin just stated to be like have a really like nice, well, pause, but nice body?
Well, also, actually, no. Half of Shin's body is literally just kid body parts anyway. So
Sorry.
can we even trust that?
Mhm.
Okay, well, ignoring that, the others would just be Edo Tensei.
But
And that
Edo
would mean
Tensei is the
that-
problem of being Edo Tensei, where they're weird anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, but beyond that, I mean, I think cracking Susato's is more impressive than blowing people up. Anyways, you also have the third Raikage stabbing through
Yeah.
his own body, but I'm not really going to count that.
well, but my point there being that I'm not saying that cracking or Susanna ribcage isn't a more impressive power display. What I'm saying is the type of damage punches do in Naruto just isn't disintegrating particle style blow up to dust. That's just not what it does. It cracks the ribcage, it cracks the bones and stuff. It doesn't vaporize outside of Night Guy and Cho Cho. They're just the only exceptions. Like Tsunade's punches aren't vaporizing things. They just don't do that. They just
We do
destroy.
we don't get to see it, but the Raikage planned to kill Naruto, and that singular punch is implied that it would have killed him. We don't know what Naruto would have looked like, but would have killed him.
Yeah, that's why we
seemingly.
can't use that, because so I'm not saying people don't die. I'm just saying vaporizing punches isn't the norm for punches in Naruto or Boruto.
Yeah.
We got 2 out of like a billion examples.
Let me go see the damn thing again.
I
Because now I'm
get
thinking
it.
maybe she had... Oh yeah, she did explode that nigga's head.
It is crazy.
Yeah, and on the contrary, what does vaporize?
Right.
Well, you got particle style, explosions, like when Kawaki blows up Garo. That type of thing vaporizes.
Yeah, I guess technically Kawaki punches through Garo, but that's more the scientific ninja tech impaling him than Kawaki's punch.
Yeah, he's also impaling
Yeah,
him
but
up,
that's
disintegrating him.
impaling though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even when Kawaki blows up Garo, we actually see like a lot of his other half land. So didn't even vaporize him completely, actually.
You also technically have Gari with the explosion style blowing people up off screen when we know he
Yeah,
is
but-
canonically doing that.
But
But
again,
explosion style.
it's
explosion
explosion.
fist.
It's ninjutsu.
Yeah, it's explosion
Not
style.
ninjutsu.
I mean, it is a fist. I mean, it's just ninjutsu taijutsu combination, but yeah, ninjutsu.
Yeah, but
I mean, at that point, do we just count Sakura's chakra control fist as ninjutsu? Because like, yeah,
No,
I don't say it might be in the data
it's-
book. I don't
it's-
know, but
it's probably the same as gentle
I think it's
fist.
just straight up taijutsu.
What is gentle
It's kinda
fist
like
listed
a
as?
guide.
Gentle Fist is considered taijutsu, so
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, it should be taijutsu.
Yeah.
it should be, yeah. But regardless,
But then again, isn't walking on water considered a ninjutsu?
it's not considered a jutsu. I mean, it's a technique technically, but it's not considered a jutsu, I don't think.
Okay. I mean, if it's in the data book, it might be listed as something, but who knows?
I don't think it's listed to the data book like a jutsu entry.
Is it not walking up trees,
Alright,
walking
you know
on
what?
water? None of
Grab this
that's
shit.
in the data book?
Not that I recall. I think it's
Okay.
in a chakra control explain section or something like that. I don't know.
Interesting. Well,
There
at the
might
very
be a
least-
tree climbing technique that explains. I'm not sure.
At the very least, the chakra strings to control puppets is a very similar principle. Same with any chakra infused into objects such as sword. Very similar principle to
Yeah,
that.
those are all
Those are
ninjutsu. But
ninjutsu, so yeah. Very likely ninjutsu.
yeah, regardless, the point about the vaporizing is just that
Okay.
that's just not how
Hang on.
taijutsu typically works. It's outside the norm. So you can't even say, "Oh, well, taijutsu disintegrates. Lightning doesn't." That's just not really true.
Yeah. I mean, even a crazy example, frickin' Mater at 20 tiers above everyone else there. He's punching fodder people and they aren't exploding.
Yeah. And actually, about lightning, I mean, when Raiga, I know it's filler, but when Raiga does lightning ball jutsu things, he's disintegrating like the earth and stuff. It's blowing it all up. Like lightning does do that.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't is freaking Chidori Stream. Not meant to, but they just paralyze you.
Even Chidori's Senbon at least pierces.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's very clear. I mean,
Alright,
Sage
so
Mode Mitsuki's goal
saying-
was to kill a Boruto, and that's like the strongest attack
Yeah,
he
so I guess
launches
so.
towards Boruto. That attack was very likely lethal.
Yeah. If it landed. Like,
Yeah. Hey, I don't think.
Can you
anyone
guys
would be
remind me
surprised.
if we have like seen anybody like get cooked from like a Rasengan, like that, like a hole in their chest from a Rasengan?
well,
A couple
they don't
people.
get like a whole hole, but you got like Kabuto's stomach being burned ish.
up, Yeah.
And the guy that Jiraiya demonstrates it on, that fodder no name tuning that nobody cares about.
Well, that's the thing. That's
Um,
why I think that Sakura's punch should also count, because the Chidori isn't. Or sorry, the Rasengan isn't really meant to impale in the same way. It's
Yeah.
more like area of effect, swirly damage. It's kind of funny, but sort of what it
Yeah, it just kind of
Well, the Rasengan's
tears.
weird
Pretty
because
much
it
a tear
carves
technique.
objects, but on people it never does that.
Exactly. It just doesn't really make sense.
Well, we just have to assume that everyone
just
it's
trying to-
used on is just greater than trees and rocks level of durability. But
To be fair, well, I don't think that's necessarily the case, because I think that when it's used on objects, those objects are like always fixed. Whereas people, you hit them, they're gonna launch backwards. The objects don't launch backwards. That's kind of the difference. Like if you have a person up against a cement wall and you slowly push a Rasengan into them, it's probably gonna carve into
Yeah.
them.
yeah, I guess that can make
Yeah.
sense.
Or if you like hold them in place, like Kabuto.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, Kabuto obviously got launched backwards, so you'd have to like
Yeah.
continue holding him.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find out all the points because I do feel like it's really all just going back to durability for me. Every time the Rasengan hurts Hidari, destroys his arm. A Rasengan, well, double giant Rasengan, disintegrates Matsuri into like half, whatever.
Actually, hold on.
Now does not affect.
I'm gonna go watch when
what's his
Boruto fights
name?
Mamushi. Like, I know he does a super massive Rasengan, but does he do any normal Rasengans in that fight?
I mean, no. What with the karma activated, he did do a Rasengan.
Yeah. And is this not very clear? I guess it blew up its. I guess so. Okay, but here again, so we've got base Cho Cho performing the same feat as Karma Boruto's Rasengan.
Thank God.
That's
No,
what
no,
we're
no, no, no.
equating
Because,
here.
well, okay, I guess that does make sense, but we haven't seen like Boruto hit. What's his name? Mamushi.
Yeah, we've seen
with
hit
a
people.
base
We've seen hit
Rasengan.
Walky.
Yeah, we've seen what the fuck? We've seen Boruto hit Hidari with a base Rasengan and his hand came off.
No, all I remember is he just carved into his shoulder a little bit.
I don't
I don't
remember.
remember Hidari's hand coming off from it.
I know the moment you're talking about. I don't remember how damaged he was exactly. I remember carving into his shoulder, but I don't remember if he loses a hand or not.
Yeah, I mean, I know that happens to Obito versus Minato, but
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Hidari, we know that he goes back and heals immediately, so that's why we're forgetting.
let's go
but-
look and see what we got to
well.
work with. But I mean, Hidari gets a hand chopped off that wasn't actually his hand when Boruto chops it off with a sword. But
Yeah, but it was wood though. It was still
yeah,
make it
exactly, it
stronger.
wasn't actually his hand.
Yeah. See, that's why it's weird that the Shinju can't heal, but they can transform their body. Like, how does that work?
I know it's weird.
Like,
But yeah,
it's
I'm looking
not-
at this. Yeah, Boruto just lands the Rasengan on Hidari's shoulder, and it does like damage there.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the
I mean,
next
it's not
panel, it seems
vaporizing
like-
him like altogether.
Ignoring that he could have just slashed
it's
Hidari
not.
with the sword and, finished him off right there, but,
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, just do what he did to Matsuri.
Or Mamushi, like 20 times now.
Bruh, he hits Matsuri with like maximum hatred.
So
See, the thing is that we're
it's
just proving more reasons why it's just bad.
Yeah.
Because Boruto, in character,
There's no
does
one
these
here.
things versus the Shinju. Just not that one Shinju when it's there for him.
it's just plot
The
convenient.
only thing that is just killing these motherfuckers consistently is the Rasengan. Why? Like, look, okay. I mean, I guess even with the Uzu-hiko Rasengan not even being at full form, it halves. That would mean that the Uzu-hiko Rasengan, in a sense, is even as strong as Konohamaru's like double giant Rasengan.
Yeah. Okay, Rue, I'm glad you
Crazy
mentioned
enough,
that
actually crazy enough,
because
Boruto's gigantic vortex Uzu-hiko there is similar in damage to Hidari as Konohamaru's double Rasengan on Matsuri. Very similar as amount of body size lift.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
mentioned the Uzu-hiko, Rue, because we need a third party on this. Me and Kamui are feuding. We're not friends after this. But we'll see how this goes. So
I might just break both of y'all apart with this one.
yeah, we're severing the bond. Shout out Sasuke. But Rue, I don't know about this, but I think Uzu-hiko, and I understand this is gonna sound crazy, but just hear me out. I think Uzu-hiko would work on all Mamushis if Boruto hit just one of them. Hear me out. It doesn't seem to be a physical effect. That being said, okay, you clearly don't understand what I mean by that. That being said, so like, for example, Rue, if you're in a coma, you are effectively unaffected by Uzu-hiko. Even though the Uzu-hiko chakra is actively in you and would affect you upon waking up, but you aren't actively physically rotating while asleep in bed. You know, you're not like rotating around your bed as your unconscious body's just rotating.
Technically, you don't know that though, because technically, okay, so I agree that's probably the case, but you don't know that because all the people it's used on are alive and resisting its effects. So for all you know, if they just didn't resist it, like if they're in a coma, they would be spinning.
So I agree, we don't know that. We're just gonna assume this for this.
I agree that was probably not the case, but we don't know. Yeah.
That being said, you know I've presented exactly what you just said before, and I absolutely prefer that. But
nah, I think I'm gonna go with Kamui on this one.
Well, hang on, because we're only halfway done. Realistically, only a third of the way done. Likewise, it isn't something you think about. Code wasn't even aware of it. It just impacted him without him knowing what's happening. So if it isn't physical, and it isn't thinking, then I think it might affect consciousness. After all, it should only have an impact on you while conscious, unless genjutsu. So keeping in mind the latest chapter, Mamushi versus Inojin, Inojin transferred into one of the Mamushis based on Amado's theory. They have individual, independent thought, but they have one shared consciousness. Inojin's mind transfer was able to affect that shared consciousness among them all. Why would mind transfer do it, but not Uzu-hiko, based on what I just explained, and based on Noob's comment here?
The problem is, okay, so Oodie, let me ask you this.
All right.
Dosu's sound drill. He does that to Mamushi. What's happening? Is it affecting the one Mamushi or is it affecting all of them?
Well, here's the problem, Kamui, because does it mean that if Mamushi would have been caught in the genjutsu, then all Mamushis would have been under genjutsu? Such as Sarada's Mangekyou
That's a
Sharingan
good
genjutsu,
separate question, but real quick.
Work, do. Same idea.
Uzu-hiko's not like genjutsu, but
no,
it is in ways, though.
Question.
It is in ways that I've described.
No.
That's tough to say.
There was one question I asked myself after chapter 33 was, why did Inojin's mind transfer work on every single Shinju, every single Mamushi, but then Damon's ability didn't work on every single Mamushi?
Well, that's just unexplained nonsense from Ikimoto that we're never gonna get. But
Yeah.
That would
I think
mean
I have a
that would
topic
mean
about
that that would mean that in a certain sense, every single one of them Mamushis are individual. And Uzu-hiko Rasengan hits one person. So that would mean that the only link between every single Mamushi is just their brain. It's just their like head, their consciousness. I mean, not
yeah. But wouldn't that
If-
mean if one
I think
Mamushi
it
is
was Uzu-hiko
dizzy,
Rasengan would affect.
then all the Mamushi should be dizzy?
So Oodie, I have a question.
Nah,
for you.
because Mhm.
Do you think Uzu-hiko physically harms the enemy?
I
yes,
think
it does harm the
there's a
enemy physically.
very small
It's because it's
harm
physical that
Physically
that
upon the
affects
harm.
you.
impact, upon the impact, but I think the point of Uzu-hiko
But
would be
I think the
poison,
impact is
the dizziness.
okay. Yeah, it does seem kind of like poison. Actually, it would be a lot more like poison because it's running through your body. It's not really like obviously the mind is connected to all the senses of your body. I mean, if you lost, I don't know how to really put this way, but like it's affecting your senses, right? And your senses are kind of going back to your brain. But if you don't have the senses, then where's it gonna go back to?
Well, especially now that Boruto has the big ball Rasengan, there's literally 0 point in ever charging his Uzu-hiko. It doesn't seem like the effect of Uzu-hiko scales with the charge. You just do the minimum
Yeah.
charge and hit the opponent. That's what Uzu-hiko was made for in the first place. It's for Kawaki / Code, not to kill them, not to harm them, but to make them dizzy so they have to give up fighting.
What did you say?
Well, now that he has Big Ball Rasengan and he can just do that at any point, well, really giant Rasengan, charging the Uzu-hiko would be a waste considering he doesn't need to do that weakness
Okay, so
of
you're kind of
charging.
just comparing like the large Rasengan to the Uzu-hiko Rasengan.
Yeah, I don't see why he would ever want the damage from Uzu-hiko. It would just be the dizziness.
Yeah, like what he's
Well,
saying
I
is
mean,
just hit him
yeah,
with
it's true though.
Uzu-hiko,
Look,
make him dizzy, and follow up with a separate massive Rasengan.
I feel like okay, comparing the larger Rasengan to the Uzu-hiko Rasengan, obviously at base level, the Uzu-hiko Rasengan doesn't do much damage. In fact, at the very least, it would probably do as much damage as the base Rasengan.
I think it does less.
So
It will.
in that-
Okay, hold on,
yeah.
dude. I've been posting images in chat. Let me post this one. One more here.
So not just physical harm.
Yeah.
Destroys the target's sense of balance, debilitating them. In addition to the damage that a standard Rasengan causes. Okay,
So it just is a standard Rasengan
Yeah, it just
level
does
at
as
the
much
But
bare
it's
as
minimum.
not
Rasengan.
presented as it when it hits code.
Well, no, I mean, no, it is because Ada asks before he gets dizzy.
Yeah, she
how
literally
is
says
that
that's
different
just
from an
it. How's it
ordinary
different from
Rasengan?
yeah.
The thing is, Code is
He
just
does
a
say that.
tank, bro.
You say that, but it's not
Yeah,
like
Code is
Code
like-
spinning backwards violently into a building, creating a crater in the wall as he crashes against it. He launches like 5 feet
Okay, but
backwards, bro.
Udi, whereas I understand what you're saying, name a single time that's happened in like well, first of all, let's start with Boruto Super Vortex.
Well, first of all, a single
Never.
time,
Thank you.
every
Okay, it just
Naruto
doesn't
movie,
happen.
and then Kabuto.
Huh?
Every Naruto movie, and then Kabuto.
Yeah, so as I said, Boruto Super Vortex doesn't happen. Ikimoto's not doing that. Boruto Part 1, the only one that it might happen with is Ow.
Okay, yeah, it's true, Sha, actually. He does
I think
really
it does
draw
happen
them
now,
doing
but,
like
like-
a spiral backwards.
Yes, shit Joji kind of too. Get kind of caught off guard for the back. Well, both of them get kind of caught off guard for the back. But regardless, that's Boruto, but that's when Kodachi was around to tell Ikimoto what to do. So once Kodachi left, when has that ever happened?
But we also don't know. So first of all, in the first one, resulting in not just physical harm. It's not specifying how much physical harm. I know that's why you posted the third screenshot. But I'm not saying Uzu-hiko doesn't have physical harm. I'm saying it has, at its minimum, very little physical harm, less than the base Rasengan. We don't know what Uzu-hiko you're gonna say it's ridiculous that I'm nitpicking here, but we don't know which Uzu-hiko it's talking about when it says it has standard Rasengan damage. Because I think
we do know, because it's not the giant vortex one,
we do know,
more
actually.
than a standard Rasengan.
We don't know which Uzu-hiko they're talking about because Uzu-hiko has a range. It can be weaker
but
than a Rasengan and stronger.
Okay, but it's most likely that they're referring to the base one, because most of the emphasis is just on the dizziness. It's literally okay. Actually, here, how about this? This is the funniest way. We do know which one it's referring to. You know why? You wanna know why we know? They give us a picture of it.
Oh my god.
Damn.
What do you say? Code?
So stupid.
That's the one they're referring to. The one that Ada compares to a Rasengan.
But she also says it was like completely underwhelming compared to whatever.
Because she was expecting something more.
Which is more than a Rasengan.
I understand that. But then why would she just say it's like a Rasengan?
She does. She asks how it's any different.
Oh my god. This is stupid.
Nah, bro, you lose this fight.
I think it's weaker, but whatever. I don't care what evidence you throw my way. Not gonna change my mind on this one. Anyways,
I mean, even if it is weak, actually, the function is different. That's the thing. Like comparing the giant Rasengan to the Uzu-hiko Rasengan doesn't really make any sense like that, unless you're talking about like the
the one he does it on
medium large Rasengan.
What Udie's trying to say is when he does the big charge up Uzu-hiko versus Hidari that blows Hidari up a bunch.
Yeah.
So he's saying dizziness ignored.
Why didn't he just
Yeah,
like,
just use
like,
massive
why didn't he
Rasengan
just charge up like a giant Rasengan?
Because it's easier.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. But the only time we've seen him do a giant Rasengan is with the Karma. So I guess
no, that's why I'm saying it applies
less.
now, like going forwards, obviously.
To be fair, though, we don't know what a Karma amped Uzu-hiko would look like.
Okay. To be fair, we don't know if his Karma is amping his Rasengan. It likely is, but I just want to throw it out there. He might just be taking chakra and doing his own jutsus. It's possible.
Well, actually, to be fair, though, because with that one, it uses the regular Rasengans and its variants to use Boruto's chakra. Well, actually, I guess the database says it's in addition to Boruto's chakra that he does the planetary rotation. So I guess it should still just amp that much.
So I guess the next question is, okay, if we're saying the one against Code was base Rasengan level, do you think that was the minimum charge, or could he charge it less, hypothetically?
It's tough to say. It depends on whether you think Boruto is getting more charges as he was taking each step. Like if he was keeping feet in contact on the ground, slowly absorbing more, or if he just absorbed it when he did the hand twitch, and that was it, and he just watched from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just depends on whether
even with the Rasengan, you can go lower than the base.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if he did this Rasengan against Hidari, I don't think it's carving his shoulder.
But you just disagree with what's stated then.
I disagree with all of it, yeah.
And you're only doing that based off your feelings. Facts are not feelings, as some people like to say.
Especially Sage.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Sage, but I wasn't quite sure.
Well, I actually don't know if it's Sage. I only said Sage because you used the F word.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think you wrote that somewhere in reference to the Sage debate, but I wasn't sure.
It's funny.
Oh, I think you wrote it in your fake impersonation text that one time.
Oh yeah.
That might be where I got that from.
Oh, that's funny. By the way, Kamui, none of that was me writing it out. That was actually copy pasted from a text document I have of just stuff that Sage says. So it's like word for word from Sage's mouth himself. I'm not making any of that up.
So you just copied and pasted a bunch of random quotes and jumbled them together?
Yeah.
There's no way, because some of those sentences weren't sentences. Like, they didn't make... Hold on, go back and look at it, because we're just going to go examine a couple. I'll point to them, because something just doesn't seem like... There's no way he said that.
I might have jumbled it.
That was in the middle of the chat.
Make it work,
just search... Okay, funnily enough, search brother in regular chat.
It's right here. Oh wait, no, it's not here. Okay, it's gonna be like
It's
right
no,
up here.
you said it in the regular chat.
No, I didn't.
In
I said it right
response.
here.
Oh, here you quoted it over. Okay.
Told you. I didn't say it in the regular chat. In fact, I'll prove right now.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Okay.
It was because I knew it was in response to someone, so I thought it was in a regular chat.
Oh, okay.
That was here.
So
I knew like
not say.
the top part. Yeah, I know exactly where that's coming from. But there's something where you said
There's stuff in here that I technically
you
worked
said
around slightly.
Based on corroborated multiple scholarly articles in the Big 2026, the colloquial term modus ponens is an absence of evidence, inductively granular, right? Like that's not
okay. He doesn't say
that's
all that in
raise
one,
your
obviously.
feelings, your appeal to Christians. I'm like, no, he didn't say these things.
Well, no, he's saying these things individually. I'm adding them all together into one.
Okay, so I see. Okay, so
but he's saying all
where
those
it gets capitalized appeal is a new sentence that you just put into one sentence.
Probably, yeah.
Or something, because like he definitely didn't say the colloquial term modus ponens is an absence of evidence. Well,
yeah, no, all this
that one
is
I'm
just
curious
me
about.
adding stuff together.
But okay, did he actually say, "I'm so gobsmacked"?
Yes, he did.
Was it in the same sentence as, or the same speech as, so sit down, shut your mouth, and enjoy? I'm so gobsmacked. Did he say it like that, or was that just a completely separate one?
I think it was a completely separate one, but I don't remember. I think like all these are pretty much completely separate.
So wait, was this something you just had conveniently for years, or after the whole thing you started keeping track of all this?
After the whole thing, I started keeping track.
So these are just things you listen in random videos or in random debates or what?
Yeah, streams or whatever. Videos. I think I got like 2 of them from your video on your channel with them.
I wonder which one this would be. Wait, hold on.
I don't remember. I think it might have been corroborated I got from your video.
Oh yeah, corroborated, yeah.
He says that a lot.
He does, yeah.
He says a lot of these things a lot.
Yeah, but some of these I did directly recognize, but some of them like specifically the colloquial term modus ponens is an absence of evidence. That's why probably like Rickster stealing or building. I was like, there's no way he said that. I thought he was making that.
But he has said each of those things individually.
Yeah. Or I'm so gobsmacked. This part is so dumb, right? Tracking error of doom. Saying random things now. Oh,
I tried to add a flow to it.
Okay,
by the way, I should absolutely delete this before he
quote all of the response to something.
So the question is, do I delete it before he sees it, or do I make him say it himself?
Well, one of these is funnier than the other. But obviously, no matter what, I don't want anyone to be mad at the other person, so that's where I get work.
Well, on the bright side, that really only works one way. Kamui, you don't need to worry about me being mad at him over this.
Yeah.
But getting back to it. But yeah, I think that was completely unimpressive. But that aside, okay, ignoring that part of it, why do you think Uzu-hiko wouldn't work on all of them?
All right.
Yeah, Kamui?
Oh, I thought
no, Rue, do you want to go?
I wasn't aware of it's just impact.
Real quick, is it Rao or Rue? Or Ro?
Bro, look, it don't make sense, but it's row, like row your boat, row.
Okay.
Okay, because if you remember, Kamui, we had this exact same problem last time we had him. So we're going on 6 hours plus of not knowing his name.
All of our text messages with him never know what his real name is.
I can say it in my head pretty easily. Just coming out of my mouth is where it's hard.
So, Kamui, do you agree with the fact that it would work on all Mamushis? Because I don't know. It doesn't work on
See
Mamushi's.
that right
I
there?
don't
That
think
perfectly
so,
worked
no.
for the Sage debate, but we're done with that now.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think it would, based off what Uzu-hiko is just explained to be. Because I don't think it is your. I mean, say consciousness, but it's not that it's affecting your consciousness like in the Naruto consciousness, spirit separate from the body sense. It's affecting your sense of balance. It's doing Dosu's thing just in a different way. It's physically
well, I mean,
affecting your sense of
you
balance.
guys don't talking about this.
What?
Are you like done talking about the Uzu-hiko, or are still continuing about it?
Well,
We're
did
still
you
talking about
have
the
your
Uzu-hiko.
interpretation that you want to share?
I was continuing, but I was just
Well, I
explaining
mean,
why I
I'm just
disagree.
it's pretty much just the exact same thing he's saying. Like it affects the consciousness is different from like the physical mind, and that's the Uzu-hiko are saying is affecting your consciousness. So the same way that the mind transfer worked on every Mamushi, the Uzu-hiko are saying I just can't work on them because it's affecting. Well,
Dang.
let's just say quote unquote the spiritual parts of the Mamushi.
Exactly. I agree.
Hmm.
I guess aside from Uzu-hiko, do you think Kamui Genjutsu would work on every Mamushi?
That one's tricky for me because it partially depends on. Well, first of all, do you think Mamushi's? Well, okay. Actually, this is funny. You can just call this a plot hole, but after I'll get back to that later. But do you think Mamushi works his splitting technique works like shadow clones in the sense of all the chakras being connected to each other?
Nah, I don't know, man.
That's
No, I
hard, but
don't
I'm
think
gonna say
so.
no.
I mean, it's all like a collective consciousness. Have you guys watched like Rick and Morty?
Nah.
Like that chick.
I've seen some
What's her
episodes,
name,
yeah, but not enough
No,
to.
okay. Even if you haven't watched it, I guess you could kind of understand the concept even from this chapter. There's a specific person, well, she's not even a person. Like she's called like Unity. She literally has the power to assimilate bodies, like as a collective hive mind type shit. That's pretty much what she's doing. In a sense, that's exactly what like what's his name? Freaking Inogen took over. So even if it can affect like one person, it just wouldn't work on the entire consciousness. That's how I feel like Genjutsu also still works. Like I'm still kind of just picturing like one Mamushi tweaking out from Tsukiyomi while every single one of them is just looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Well, here's my thing, because they weirdly, Amado and I guess Ikimoto weirdly in this chapter makes a distinction between thinking
Yeah.
and consciousness. We don't have any elaboration
that's the
on
thing.
that, but thinking
that's
isn't
part of the
consciousness.
problem.
No.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where this stems off of. So here's where I disagree with Kamui based on what he was saying earlier, to where Genjutsu's different from Uzu-hiko. Obviously, it's different from Uzu-hiko, but we're not looking at the difference, and we're looking at what matters. And I think what matters are the similarities here. That being that, with Uzu-hiko and Genjutsu, both of them, with them, it's not that you think about it, it's that it happens regardless if you want it to happen or not. You don't want to see the Genjutsu, but you're gonna see it anyways. You're gonna hear it if you're in the Genjutsu. That's not something you can really control, but it's happening to your consciousness. Not your thinkingness, but your consciousness.
Yeah, but you can't block a Genjutsu, not the Uzu-hiko flowing through your body, though.
Well, it also happens regardless of if you're aware of it or if you're understanding it. Koto Amatsu, you're not aware of it. And other Genjutsu, I guess with Uzu-hiko, you don't understand what's happening unless you figure it out yourself, or unless Boruto tells you, like with Code. Code didn't realize what was happening, but he was still affected by it to the same degree regardless. The same would be the same with Genjutsu. And that, I think, is what matters here, rather than the obvious differences of, like, optical illusion versus physical tact. It's not what I'm saying.
So, another question. Again, we're just looking at Genjutsu for the moment. Naruto makes a bunch of shadow clones. Do you think they share a collective consciousness?
Like,
No.
are they like Mamushi, this one collective consciousness with separate thoughts, or are they separate consciousnesses?
Separate consciousness.
Nah, they're separate. I think they're separate actually.
Okay, because what I was gonna say is we do know that the
But-
genjutsu doesn't transfer over to like the human. Like if they're on a clone, it doesn't transfer. Right? It just
Right.
doesn't work on shadow clones apparently. But
Exactly.
like,
Well,
it
but
doesn't
then
transfer
we would say the same
entirely.
with mind transfer. Mind transfer on a clone doesn't affect them all.
Well,
Mm.
have you
Yeah,
ever
that's-
seen anyone try that?
But it's not gonna work, Kamui. Come
I mean,
on.
that would prove the point
I
that
know.
there is. Wouldn't that just prove the point that there isn't like a collective high mind within the shadow clones and that user?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
closest
that's
we
the
get,
point there.
and
Despite
this,
the chakras. Well, the reason why I was bringing that one up is that it affects their chakra, but the chakras are all connected with shadow clones. So why is it that it doesn't work? I don't know. But
Yeah.
regardless, it doesn't work. So I mean, the
in
problem
fact,
is
I
Mamushi
kind
should
of
be weird.
have.
The problem is we don't know what the hell the consciousness thing means to Amado, because without
Sure.
actually understanding that, you can't put it. We're not able to put it in terms of how genjutsu works without knowing what consciousness means to Ikimoto, because
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true,
what
though.
we think it is. So
Exactly. Well, okay, so I do have something to point to. It seems like, I can't prove it, but it seems like as soon as Boruto tells the one Mamushi, or Mamushi's in the area, however we're there, where Ada is to follow him, it seems like all the Mamushis are on the same page. They all at the same time get that information and realize it and go to Boruto.
But that's what's weird, because wasn't there an earlier scene where they just didn't know something? Yeah, they were like wondering, like they didn't know why their numbers were dwindling until they saw Boruto or something like that. Like there was like a weird.
check
I
that
think that's
out.
just inconsistent.
That just doesn't make sense. But my point being here is
I'll
that
try to look for it.
okay. So unless it's happening off screen, but I feel like Ikimoto would have shown that. I can't prove that, but who knows? It feels like the Mamushi clones aren't communicating with each other through telekinesis or whatever to inform the others, but rather they all share the knowledge through their collective consciousness. That would be different from Hashirama and Yamato's wood clones, which, by the way, doesn't apply to shadow clones regardless, which tells me the shadow clones don't share a consciousness. But the wood clones, I also don't think share a consciousness, because they have to communicate through telekinesis or whatever to communicate that information. Otherwise, the original / other wood clones wouldn't know the information that the wood clone gathers.
Yeah. I guess it is. I guess it is kind of like, bruh.
So
I don't even know
that's
what
to
to
say, Hashirama / Yamato need to communicate with their wood clones, whereas Mamushi wouldn't.
no, they
in this
communicate.
hypothetical, because of this. I mean, like telekinesis to let the other clones know or whatever. That'd be because of the shared consciousness versus not.
Were they actually talking like? I thought they were talking through like a line or something.
The
Yamato, like, he just has like wood clone phone jutsu. Like he
Yeah.
just like talks to the clone out loud, and it just like he's not using a radio device, but he just talks to it like he is.
Yeah. It's like, you know how Mitsuki's like
might
on the
have to check that
telephone
one
with
out.
Orochimaru through his snake. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, exactly the same thing
Mhm.
with that one.
Just without an extra
Alright.
snake.
So as far as I can find, it does seem like the Mamushi's just know. What I was thinking of was actually them saying it is Boruto. So it seems like they did just know. I'm just trying to look through, but as far as I can tell, they just kind of know
Okay.
what's going on.
Because I think that works with the collective consciousness, but individual thought. With this idea, anyways. Because it's the same with shadow clones, to where they have individual thoughts, regardless of consciousness.
When does Amado say his theory for the first time? The consciousness
I
theory.
think it was like
I
the
know they
last
repeated
chapter
again.
before 32. I think.
Okay.
I have no idea.
You sure it wasn't just
Yeah,
like
it was, like-
randomly in the beginning of the arc or anything?
Well, it was after he invaded.
Nah.
It's a couple chapters ago. I just don't know when exactly.
Okay, here we
Shouldn't be
go. I
too
found
much
it.
No, he said no.
got it?
It's like
Yeah.
page 4, page
It-
5.
It may be that they can share visual or auditory information with each other. But to be fair, I mean that one just might be true regardless. Or while each Mamushi can think independently, they might exist. So one of the questions though is Jura and Matsuri. Is that supposed to be just sharing visual information with each other automatically? Or is it like the Mamushi situation?
Yeah, it seems like it would be somewhat of the similar situation. Actually.
Because
But
that
then
right
why
there.
isn't Jura
It's-
dead?
Yeah, I
it's
feel like
similar.
sharing information isn't collective consciousness. You wouldn't need to share it. That implies if you don't share it, then the other person wouldn't have it, which wouldn't work with the collective consciousness.
But then, like, do you count it as sharing if Jura just like knows without needing Matsuri to send him the information?
That wouldn't be sharing. That would be collective consciousness.
Because but that's like what Jura does. But Jura's not dead. I'm assuming.
To be fair, we don't know
Assuming,
how
she didn't
Jura's
just solo
doing
the
that
problem.
at all. Like Jura, first of all, Jura might be an outlier of the Shinju anyways, but also that could just be Rinnegan shenanigans.
But yeah, because the other thing is that Jura also says in chapter 5 that they're all one entity, but they're different consciousnesses. I did double check that the previous stream.
Okay.
So he's saying they don't share a consciousness.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, I'm glad you said that. That's interesting. Glad we got that confirmed. Unless Ikimoto forgot and just is using the word differently now. But
Yeah,
now
that's
we'll
the
assume
problem.
It's good. Okay. See, but that's interesting because I would consider sharing visual information, let alone auditory information, would be essentially the same thing as what the wood clones are doing with each other. Kind of like
The
auditory
other
information.
question is like when Ominous says like karma prevents duplicate personalities, would that be like duplicate consciousnesses? Could we use those interchangeably here? So it's to say all the Mamushi share one personality, but they have different thoughts. Like,
yeah, that's weird. I'd be
but
curious
then
what
you
they
have
say
to
about
say,
the
okay, but
Sheen
why doesn't
clones.
that apply to Shadow Clones then? Because that would be the same there.
Yeah, also the Sheen clones would be interesting with that. But
Well, the Shin clones are like Mitsuki. They're different people. Even if they
yeah,
look the same,
of course.
Mm.
Still would be interesting. Because they're like very different. But I was gonna say something, you sort of threw me off of that. By the way, Kamui, it is getting late in case you haven't seen the time.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I was probably in.
Okay. What was I gonna say? I don't really remember. Oh well. Oh, at the very least, it's definitely interesting. So,
Indeed.
final consensus. I'll also make this a community poll if I remember, because I think it's be kind of interesting. Like all of these freaking Wiki community polls right here.
Gadgets is really tricky though, because again, like if they're the same chakra network or not the same chakra network, and, like, that's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if they all share vision through Rinnegan, then that right there should just do it through that alone, but we're going to ignore that.
Well, no,
that's
because it
not
doesn't
this.
apply to Six Paths of Pain. It doesn't apply, so
We don't know if those pains were awake yet. In fact, I'd argue they weren't awake yet.
it doesn't apply to
But
Nagato himself.
that's a good point, but it's possible that Conan broke Nagato out off screen.
Okay, but the narratively, that's so bad.
I know. It's
Kishimoto.
possible. In fact, you could argue it's narratively why Jiraiya beat Conan, so Conan wasn't there, so Conan could be there for the writing excuse.
But then they would show that.
Well, I mean, at the very least, would you agree that I do think that Conan is the one who awoken the other three pains? She, like, got him out of the pod or whatever, because they were sleeping in the pod.
No, I think Nagato just turned them on.
I don't know if he can't do that.
I think he can, consider he did do that in the beginning of the fight. He put pain to sleep and turned on the animal path instead. So I don't see why he can't just do that with the other ones.
It's possible.
It's not possible. Well, it is possible. It's not just possible. We've seen it.
So you agree it's
We've-
possible?
Actively seen him do it. So it's just he just did it.
Sounds like we're on the same page, Kamui. It's possible.
Okay, my headphones are dying again, so I think that's a good place to end it.
Okay, well, Rue, you know that you have to do the outro, right?
You guys have a specific word you say?
Well, we do, but we were hoping that you could tell us.
Hey, I don't know.
Well, if you had to guess what our outro is, what would you say?
I mean, if you had to guess the first word, all you
What?
gotta do is just look in the stage and just examine the word. When you look at the stage and you hover over all the names, just examine what words you see. See if anything stands out to you.
Ikimoto?
Well,
Okay.
that's one of them.
You got the
So-
first half.
Now, based on everything you've heard during the stream,
Mhm.
what adjective would you add on to Ikimoto?
I don't know, like Ikimoto. I don't know, man. Ikimoto forgot.
Well,
Oh, okay.
it's along the
How do we
right
want to approach
lines.
this, Uzi?
Well, you definitely have the correct beginning phonetic.
Ikimoto the gooner.
No. So I'm guessing we don't know what phonetic is, but that's okay. So, Ikimoto F what?
Gara has a jutsu. Now, ignore the sand part of this jutsu, but Gara has a jutsu where the second word, the word after sand, so ignore sand blank, and it rhymes with the word that we need that starts with the letter F. And he used this jutsu versus Rasa, I'll say that.
Not even I know what juice you're
Bro, I
talking
don't fucking
about.
know, man. What the fuck?
Well,
Like, if even I
it's
don't
not
know,
rain,
then-
it's not snow, it's what?
I don't even know the name of the jutsu specifically. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of the jutsu.
Well, let's just think of real life weather for a moment. It's not rain. It's not snow. What's coming down?
Forecast? What?
If it's not heaven,
Damn, I feel so dumb. Mhm.
I like the way you're doing that, but that's gonna give him the wrong rhymes.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, if you guys, if you guys tell me,
where do criminals go when they're caught?
Oh my god.
prison, hell,
So, okay.
You got
So,
Gar's jutsu, hail.
so Boruto's
hell,
what palm
desert.
jutsu?
Stream? What?
Okay.
No.
Okay, go back to Gawi's. Go back to Gawi's.
Gale?
Hell. Okay, so it rhymes with that.
Okay.
And it begins with F.
And there's a type of boat that rides on its own with the wind. It's called a what boat?
Sail?
Okay. And the blank man delivers the blank in your blank box.
What, the black man?
No, blank. I'm blanking out the word. The blank man delivers the
my
blank
God.
in your blank box.
The delivery man?
So when you
And
go
what's
to
another word?
Mayo.
okay. So when you go to jail and you want to get out,
Mhm.
someone has to pay your other rhyming word.
My bail.
Okay,
Bail jail?
okay.
What the fuck is your talk?
And another word for a bucket is a what? You might not know.
I
this
actually
one.
don't know.
Okay,
Let's
a
see.
pail.
Let's see. I didn't go to Harvard. I went to
Wisconsin University.
Yale.
Bail, jail, Yale.
Old people are very frail.
Frail.
When someone looks really like they're really white, like the extremely white, they're sick.
Pale.
They don't look good. Okay, they're pale.
You have an animal that can breathe for a very long time underwater.
And they're really large.
Whale. Whale.
Okay.
Wait, do you guys say all these words, or you guys are just alluded to one word?
Well, we're alluding to one. We're trying to share our collective consciousness
We're
with
making
you.
sure you got the right idea in the back of your mind. Now at this point, we're just trying to come up with as many as we can.
Kimoto fails.
Yeah, but you know what? Can you
That's it.
well, he does do that in the present
Good night,
tense.
everybody.
But like, what did he already do in the past?
Already do. He failed.
There you go.
Bro, are you serious?
I love it.
So is your outro like, once again, Kimoto failed us, or some shit?
I'll take it.
Bro, y'all, all y'all niggas is weird, bro.
To be fair, the outro was originally a whole thing. It just became that one time.